Games number 32 and 33 coming your way from CHO Airport Field at Charlottesville High School on this muggy Thursday afternoon in the Valley. Culpeper in Charlottesville for game 1 of 2 this evening here in Seville. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome into the Tom Sox streaming platform. Nathan Schwartz and Landon Weaver pleased to be bringing you the action for game 1 of today's doubleheader. This one will be a 9-inning game. Game 2 starting about 30 minutes after this one ends will be a 7-inning game. But Landon, nonetheless, regardless of how many games are being played today, Charlottesville is one of the hottest teams in the league, winning each of its last 4 games. And the funny part about that is all 4 have come on the road.
Yeah, now they finally have a chance with what seems like forever to finally take the stands and take their opportunities here at CHO Airport Field after a huge win last night away at Harrisonburg, defeating the best team in the Valley League. And now they've set themselves into second place, which is something that if you had told me that early July the Sox would find themselves in position for a first-round bye, I would have told you you're crazy. The season did not start off in that way.
It did not. Charlottesville still 5 games behind Harrisonburg for that first spot in the South Division, but right now just a half a game separates Charlottesville and Stanton, and it's going to be a fun race in this last week of the regular season to see who gets that bye in the South Division playoffs, whether it will be Charlottesville or whether it will be Stanton. One thing to note, Charlottesville plays at Stanton on Monday night out at Gypsy Field. So that one will be very important, but let's take a look at today's keys for the game. Landon, I'll let you start.
Yeah, first thing is just be patient at the plate. We saw a lot last night in Harrisonburg. The Sox were running the count full a lot, and they're being able to get that count full and then draw walks, which has allowed them to walk the bases, allowed them to drive runs home in easy single situations. And secondly, pitchers, they need to make the catcher's job easy. No pass balls to the backstop, nothing at the dirt. Just make it so that they can calmly catch that, because that's a way to save runs, especially with a new guy on the behind the plate in Anderson French. And lastly, have fun. We saw it last night. Lee Sowers and Hudson Luderman playing a little bit of catch and run before the game started during our rain delay, and it kind of showed they had a loose mentality going into the game. They let the bats fly, putting up 14 against Harrisonburg.
Big win yesterday for the Tom Sox against the Turks, and I think the main thing today is you have to keep those bats hot and you have to stay consistent. Charlottesville did such a good job of immediately putting their foot on the gas last night and not letting up. It's a group that was eager to play in a baseball game. It had been so long since they played a full game. You had to go back to last Thursday when they played at Front Royal to when they played a full game, just the 1 inning on Saturday in Harrisonburg. And then for the few guys that played in the All-Star game, they got that experience on Sunday. But other than that, it's just that game yesterday. And also for Hunter Hyatt and the rest of the pitchers throughout both games today, just trust the defense. Make sure that you're getting your ground balls and putting that faith in those 9 guys around you, and then attacking early. That can go for the batters at the plate and for every pitcher that Charlottesville uses today, including the man you see warming up right now, Hunter Hyatt.
Yeah, a guy that kind of had his opportunity cut short against Harrisonburg on July 12th when he only pitched an inning and a third. But if anything, it kind of worked out in his favor. He was able to get extra days of rest, and we know what he's capable of. I believe a 7 strikeout game earlier on this season, and he'll be looking to replicate something similar to that against Culpeper today.
It was 8 strikeouts for Hyatt back on the 5th of July right here at CHO Airport Field against Harrisonburg. For Hyatt, the last time he pitched was on the 12th in that game against the Turks that was resumed last night. He pitched the opening inning, gave up 1 hit, no runs, no walks, and no strikeouts on 12 pitches. He's back here for game 1 of today's doubleheader between Culpeper and Charlottesville. And stepping into the batter's box to begin for the Cavaliers is Keaton Burrows, one of the best bats in the Valley League. Hyatt comes set at the belt. The first pitch in game 1 is a fastball hit on the ground to the second baseman in Jackson Soroy. He makes the easy 4-3 putout to give Hunter Hyatt his first out of the ball game.
And that's exactly what the Sox need on defense. An easy scoop up, toss over to Shadle, and no errors there. And that's kind of how the Tom Sox have been playing defense lately amid this 4-game stretch. Not a whole lot of errors, and it goes to show with their record jumping up.
Attack early, fill up the strike zone. One of my keys to the game, Hunter Hyatt does it right there, and that gives way to Ethan Belk in right field today for Culpeper, hitting from the right side. Hyatt takes the breath. The southpaw deals, and that's a first pitch fastball in the upper corner of the zone for strike one.
And Belka Guy out of Wofford College, native of Rock Hill, South Carolina, helped earn Wofford their first ever regional win in Chapel Hill last year.
0-1 is a high chopper, this time to the left side of the infield. Preston Gamster with a bullet over to first base to retire Belk. A couple of nifty plays by the Tom Sox middle infield to begin this game as we take a look around the rest of the Charlottesville defense. In the outfield, it's Will Genowine in left, his first start here at home. Kyle Langley's in center and Perry Hargett out and right. You already know about the middle infield of Gamster at short and Soroy at second. It's Patrick Neas at the hot corner and Tanner Shadle at first base, with Anderson French doing the catching today for the Tom Sox. Now Alejandro Ludero steps in for the Cavaliers. Again, hitting from the right side, 3 straight right-handed batters to begin today for Culpeper against Hyatt, who forces a foul ball to Ludero to make it 0-1.
Ludero yet to hit this season against the Tom Sox, batting just about 300 this season with 31 hits on the year.
Hyatt looking good so far, very comfortable in his first appearance in 5 days. That was his first ball of the game right there, but it barely misses above the shoulders of Ludero, who's hitting .298 this summer for Culpeper with 1 home run and 19 RBIs. 1-1 rides up and in. Hyatt falls behind. It's something he's done so good, Landon, is staying out in front of hitters, and that's what's been giving him more success as his season's progressed.
Yeah, and especially when you look at his pitch count and it's lower than what a normal pitcher would have, and that's why he was able to go for 8 strikeouts and just not a whole lot of innings of work. And I thought that they maybe would let him ride a little longer during that game, but he was coming off of an injury and he had to be cut a little short.
2 innings in his first appearance, 2 1/3 in the second, then 3 2/3 against Harrisonburg about 2 weeks ago before just the 1 inning last weekend due to the weather. And now he's through 2/3 of an inning and has a full count against Ludero, the number 3 man in this Cavaliers order today. Burrows, Belk, Ludero to start, Keone Palmer, Kelly Crittenberger, Maxwell Melessa, 4, 5, 6, and then Cameron Turner, Donovan Mitchell, and Robinson Martin to round out the order. Here's the payoff from Hyatt. It's another ground ball, but this time it sneaks through into the outfield grass. So Culpeper has its first base runner of the day on Ludero's 2-out single.
Yeah, hard to strike Ludero out. Only 9 strikeouts to date on the season and 104 at-bats. So a guy that is really patient. That count ran full there. But Hyatt still working well, 2 outs here in the first. And he'll look to strike out Keone Painter, a guy that has had a huge bat, one of the newer additions on this Culpeper squad.
He's been sensational. The Hawaii native, rising senior at BYU, is hitting .423 across his first 8 games in the Valley League with 3 homers and 14 RBIs. First pitch in the first left-on-left matchup today is up and in for ball 1.
Yeah, a real power hitter. He's slugging .885, and although he's a smaller sample size of at-bats, it goes to show that this is why Culpeper has had a bit of a resurgence. They started out pretty poorly this season, and they're not at 500, but they're gaining ever so closely to it.
Yeah, this was a Culpeper team that, you're right, Landon, was really struggling, but at the end of June and going into the beginning of July, they were one of, if not the hottest team in the Valley League, and worked their way out of last place in the South Division up to 4th place, and now vying for a home game come next week's VBL playoffs. Final day of the regular season is next Wednesday, the 23rd. A week from today, the Valley League postseason begins, with the final day slated for July 31st, the drop-dead day. 1-2, did that catch the hand or the knob of the bat? It did catch the knob of the bat, so it's a foul ball. And the count remains 1-2 with 2 away to Painter.
Very, very lucky there from Hunter Hyatt. That really changes the whole landscape of this inning. You either have 2 runners on, including 1 in scoring position, or you get another chance to strike out Painter.
Alejandro Ludero remains the runner at first base. 1 strike away for Hyatt. He won't get it right there, just missing with the fastball outside.
He's really nailing his spots early, though. You see a lot of pitches going into the zone, and that's the reason why there were a couple putouts early. He was able to put it in a zone where the batters wanted it too, but they couldn't connect well.
2-2, he goes to the breaking ball. It's a flare out to Gamster, who makes the catch in shallow left center field to end the top half of the first inning. Culpeper only gets the one base runner, but some weak contact induced by Hyatt keeps the game scoreless after the top of the first from Charlottesville.
For Culpeper at first base.
Welcome back to CHO Airport Field here in Charlottesville. Game one of a double header today between the Tom Sox and the Cavaliers. Nathan Schwartz and Landon Weaver here in Charlottesville for all the action here in game one. It was a good first inning for Hunter Hyatt, but now on the other side for Culpeper, it's Ed Wagner's turn to take the mound.
Yeah, big and an imposing figure out on the mound there in yellow. 6'6", 230. Ed Wagner stands at man out of UNC Charlotte. Pitched in 14 games in college last season, a 6.06 ERA. Doing better here in Culpeper in 6 games. 15 innings and a 4.69 ERA. Recorded just one out in his last outing at Covington on July 12th. And I feel like he's had a couple of good outings against the Tom Sox when they've played him. I do remember him being on the mound. Just a guy that has a lot of power in that arm.
He'll face Perry Hargett, Jackson Soroy, and Elijah Williams in the bottom half of the first inning. Right, left for the Tom Sox. It starts with Hargett, and the first pitch by Wagner as a called strike at the top of the zone. Hargett's been in the leadoff spot for now the 11th straight game. He's really found a home there after that was Kyle Langley's spot to begin the season. Now the 0-1 from Wagner is sent foul over the batting cage down the first base side behind the Tom Sox dugout. It'll be an 0-2 count to begin to Perry Hargett, who's hitting an even 200 so far on the season. 5 RBIs, 15 walks for the Tom Sox leadoff man out of North Carolina. Wagner's 0-2 offering. It's a breaker, and it rings up Hargett. Beautiful pitch for Wagner to begin his outing.
Yeah, a quick 1-2-3 there. Perry just thought that ball was going to curve a bit more outside, but did nip the edge of the zone.
So here is Jackson Soroy, officially enrolled at the University of Maryland, transferring over from UVA. So the future Dirty Terp digs into the right batter's box, nearly gets hit on the first pitch he sees today. It's inside to make it 1-0 with one away in the bottom half of the first to the Leesburg, Virginia native, who's hitting .247 this summer with 11 RBIs and 19 walks. He's been one of the Tom Sox best hitters in the month of July, hitting .333 through the first few games of the month. A lot of baseball here in the final week, though, to add to those totals. Here's the 2-0 by Wagner. Up and in again for ball 3. So the man who has walked more than anybody on this Charlottesville team is one ball away from making it up to 20 in game number 32 of the summer. Wagner out of the windup. Here is that 3-0 offering, and it's right down Broadway.
And as you mentioned, Soroy hitting .333 in the month of July. He's been super consistent in a roster with quite a lot of consistent hitters. He's been able to really find that zone and find a consistent basis of hitting, getting doubles, getting singles.
The home plate umpire and Mike Mackey does say Soroy goes around to make it 3-2 with one away. Hargett went down looking to begin the inning. Wagner out of Charlotte, a 6'6" righty, has struck out now 17 batters on the season after Hargett, and Soroy does get that 20th walk that we talked about a moment ago.
That's patient batting right there. He was waiting for a pitch that he liked, didn't see it, and now he's on base.
So from one of the Tom Sox hotter hitters in the month of July to the hottest hitter in the month of July, and Elijah Williams out of Flagler, riding a 5-game on-base streak. He's been a breath of fresh air for this Tom Sox lineup after the losses of Andrew Manley and James Nunnally. Williams swinging at the first pitch, and he fouls it behind us in the press box for strike one.
Yeah, and one of the things that William has noted since coming to Charlottesville is that in his time at his college last year, he's seen more strikes being in Charlottesville than he did all season there, and that goes to show why he's been able to bring in 13 RBIs and hit 10 in his first 27 at-bats.
An OPS over 1,000 for Williams. There's a throw over to first base. Soroy, not a huge base stealing threat. Handful of them on the season. But this Tom Sox team loves to run. 75 stolen bases in the first 31 games as Soroy takes off on the second pitch to Williams and slides in headfirst safely. Right on cue for Soroy to put a runner in scoring position for the Sox.
Yeah, only his 4th stolen bag on the season, but when you come from a team that steals a lot of bags, that's the Sox 76th stolen bag this season, it's kind of a culture thing now.
Assistant coach Joey Davis preaching, taking the extra base. Now the 1-1 to Williams is smoked right back up the middle for a base hit. Soroy gets the wave around third. Here comes the throw from Mitchell. It's wide to the right, and the Sox take an early lead. Elijah Williams with an RBI single to make it 1-0.
Absolutely on cue, Nate. As we talked about when Elijah Williams stepped up to the batter's box, one of, if not the hottest hitter in the month of July, and that batting average is going up, and so is that RBI number. This is his 14th RBI on the season.
Tons of exit velocity off the bat right there for Elijah Williams. And just 3 batters in, Charlottesville has a 1-0 lead against Culpeper in game 1 of this doubleheader. That gives way to Preston Gamster, who chases the first pitch slider down and away from Ed Wagner.
Yeah, kind of chewing himself out for swinging at that one. Knew that it was a little bit out of reach, but when you're in a slump like he is, you got to try and hit the ball as much as you can. We did the math earlier. We believe it's 11 at-bats. He hasn't had a hit yet.
Tom Sox haven't played a ton of games in the last week and a half as Williams now has a stolen base. That's his first attempt in his time with Charlottesville, and now he's 1 for 1. But back to Gamster. You're right, Landon. He's 0 for his last 11. No hits in the last 3 games, dating back to the game Charlottesville played here at home on the 6th against Winchester. Up and in is that fastball from Wagner to put Gamster up 2 balls and 1 strike with 1 away in this bottom half of the first inning.
Yeah, one of the things about baseball, though, is that when you're in a slump like this, you're due for one, and then once you get the hit that you're due for, you seem to go on a fiery stretch. So Gamster kind of getting his slump at the right time, gearing up for postseason when maybe he'll hit a fire starter.
You want to be playing your best baseball with the season winding down. Charlottesville's definitely playing some of its best baseball right now, having won its last 4 games to get 3 games above 500 and move in to that second place spot in the South Division in the Valley League. Wagner resets on the 3-1. Gamster waves at the off speed, and it's a full count now to the Tom Sox shortstop.
Williams looking to run here. He's been taking pretty big leads at second base.
Huge secondaries for both Soroy and Williams both stole a base in this inning. Williams stays put on the full count. Gamster over to the third baseman and Crittenberger, who makes a strong throw. Gamster avoids the tag but is shaken up, headed towards the Tom Sox dugout.
Yeah, that was an acrobatic play to dive under the outstretched arms of Cameron Turner at first base, but talk about putting your body on the line.
So on that play, it was Crittenberger making a backhand play. It'll go down into the book as an E5 on the wide throw. Gamster, knowing that the throw was high, saw that and decided to slide headfirst into the first base bag. And from first glance, it looked like it had to do something with the wrist or the hand for Gamster. Not sure which, but immediately the Tom Sox appeared to be making a substitution. Gamster went right to the athletic training staff inside of the batting cage behind the dugout. And it looks like Hudson Luderman is putting on a helmet and getting ready to run for Gamster.
Yeah, it's unfortunate to see that, especially this early in the game, and talk about what a personality Preston Gamster is for the team. We hope that he is okay. Put his body on the line to get on base.
Now at first base for your Tom Sox, number 19, Hudson Luderman.
And you can just feel the positivity and all the joy from Gamster reaching base immediately deflate this ballpark. What that did, though, was put runners on the corners with still only one away for Patrick Nias, who had a phenomenal day yesterday out in Harrisonburg with 4 RBIs and 2 extra base hits. Nias takes the first pitch fastball from Wagner right down the middle, and it's 0-1 to the Sox third baseman.
And one of those extra base hits was an absolute bomb out to left field to drive in 2 runs, and that gave the Sox a 7-0 lead in the top of the 4th. They didn't look back after that.
Throw over to first here for Wagner. Luderman's in there safely with the head first slide. Luderman does have 3 stolen bases on the summer, 3 for 3. Williams is the runner at third base after that E5 by Kelly Crittenberger. RBI opportunity for Nias, who's tied for the team lead with 20 with the aforementioned Gamster, who's now out of the game and will not return in game 1 of today's doubleheader. And of course, we hope the best for Gamster, one of the more energetic guys on the team. Oh, 1 to Nias is upstairs, and it's 1-1 with 1 away. Tom Sox looking to add to a solid first inning so far. It's lone run coming on that Elijah Williams RBI single right back up the middle.
Yeah, and with Williams only being 90 feet away from home plate, Nias's eyes are darting and looking to drive one in here.
Luderman thought about taking off, decided against it, and the slider's down and away. For ball 2, the appeal is no good for Culpeper's side, as the first base umpire Casey Hayden said that Nias held his swing. Williams at third, Luderman at first. 1-0 lead for the Sox, and Wagner's really worried about Luderman over there.
It goes to show how much of a threat he is and how much of a threat the Sox are, with already Williams and Soroy being able to steal from first to second. He's not going to let a third happen.
Let's see what Wagner does here. He sets at the belt ahead of the 2-1. He does go to the plate, and Nias chases one above his head for strike 2.
Yeah, a guy that's always looking to swing. He's now got 34 strikeouts on the season, which is top 3 in the VBL. I believe he was tied with Josiah Seguin of Harrisonburg, who's also at 34.
That was your classic case of being anxious to swing at whatever came your way after a couple throwovers to first. Now Wagner resets with the 2-2 and spikes it. It goes all the way to the backstop, giving Williams an easy lane home to put the Sox up 2.
Taking advantage of the pass balls is something that we've seen a lot lately from the Sox. They got a couple of runs off of that last night, and here again with Williams taking an easy stroll to home.
Wild pitch for Wagner. Williams scores Luderman into scoring position, and Charlottesville's lead is 2 here in the bottom of the first. The Sox have been much better at scoring early and holding on to those leads here in the month of July. Now the full count pitch, Nias. Foul tips it into the mitt of the backstop, Ludero, for the second strikeout of the inning for Wagner. And a perfect time to take a look around the defense for Culpeper. Keone Painter in left, Donovan Mitchell in center, Ethan Belk is in right. Kelly Crittenberger at third base, Robinson Martin at short. Keaton Burrows is at second with Cameron Turner, the first baseman. And then Alejandro Ludero doing the catching here in game one for Culpeper. That brings up Kyle Langley, the center fielder, who fouls off the first pitch he sees over towards the parking lot over by the high school, and it's 0-1. Langley leads all qualified players for the Tom Sox in average. There's just 5 of them: Langley, Gamster, Soroy, Luderman, and Nias. Langley hitting .264. This is his 27th game of the summer, tied for the team lead with Soroy and Nias. 0-1 changeup is a beauty from Wagner. He gets Langley to cut through it to make it 0-2 with 2 away.
And Langley this summer, 14 RBIs to his name, so another Tom Sox in double-digit RBIs, and he's got a pretty good chance at sending Luderman home as he's in scoring position at second.
Langley, one of the better hitters on the team this year with a runner in scoring position. On the 0-2, he can't make contact, though. He goes down on 3 pitches, and Wagner picks up his 3rd strikeout of the ball game. But it does come after the Sox put up 2, 1 on the RBI single from Elijah Williams. We head to top 2 here in Charlottesville, and the Sox have a 2-0 lead. Back with the top of the second inning here from CHO Airport Field at Charlottesville High School. The Tom Sox with a 2-0 lead to begin the second. Kelly Crittenberger, Maxwell Melessa, and Cameron Turner due up here for Culpeper in game 1 of today's doubleheader. 9-inning game, regularly scheduled one here for game 1. Game 2 following this one will be a 7-inning contest. Good start for the Tom Sox. Some run support for Hunter Hyatt, who's back out for inning number 2. And he starts it out with the ball down low to Kelly Crittenberger, the third baseman.
Yeah, no strikeouts yet for Hyatt, but he's certainly been dealing within the strike zone and giving chances for the Tom Sox infield to make easy plays off of grounders from the Cavaliers.
4-3 put out to begin, then a 6-3 put out, then a routine pop out to Gamster at shortstop to end the top of the first. Gamster's no longer in this game, with Crittenberger fouling that one off to make it 2-1. If you didn't happen to catch the bottom half of the first inning, Preston Gamster on a ground ball to Crittenberger dove headfirst into the first base bag to try and avoid a tag play, and it appeared he jammed his wrist, so he immediately was taken out of the game. Hudson Luderman entered. He's at second base, and Jackson Soroy moved from second to shortstop. That is the change so far for Charlottesville in game 1. No word on the official status of the injury for Gamster or whether he'll be able to return for game 2 later today. 2-2 from Hyatt is up and away. Crittenberger works the count full. The rising junior at Northwestern, a McLean, Virginia native, is Crittenberger. A .222 average for the third baseman today with 1 homer and 9 RBIs this summer. The payoff from Hyatt is a bit low. French can't squeeze it, and it's a leadoff walk for Crittenberger.
It's going to be Crittenberger's 11th walk on the season compared to his 18
Now batting, number
strikeouts.
10, Maxwell Malessa.
And it brings up one of the more powerful bats in this Culpeper lineup in Maxwell Malessa. Low average at 206, but he does have 2 home runs, 13 RBIs, and a slugging percentage at .333. He won't get a chance to hit one out as he gets hit on the first pitch of his first plate appearance today. And right after Charlottesville put up 2 runs in the bottom half of the first inning, Landon, Culpeper looking for a response.
Yeah, and it's kind of all come from the mound in the hand of Hunter Hyatt, unfortunately. He's not dealing as much in the zone as he was in the first inning, and he's just got to relax a little bit. He'll find his zone again and just get into a consistent rhythm.
So a sacrifice situation potentially here for the first baseman, Cameron Turner. The redshirt freshman out of Charlotte. Runners at second and first with nobody out. Turner does square to bunt, and he pops it up over the backstop.
Yeah, the only positive that comes out of having runners on first and second if you are the Tom Sox is that it's a perfect opportunity to squeeze a double play. As the infield is starting to come in, we see Williams, or Shadle, my apologies, coming in line with Hunter Hyatt.
Both Shadle and Nias playing in on the grass as Turner squares to again, pulls back, and this pitch hits Turner. A sweeping slider there for Hunter Hyatt. Ran in on the hands of Turner, and 3 free passes have loaded the bases for Culpeper, looking to tie this game up or maybe take the lead in top 2.
Well, this is kind of the opposite of the complementary baseball the Tom Sox have been playing lately, where the offense does something good, the defense will follow it up with pretty seamless pitching or infield outfield put out. But yeah, now you've put yourself in quite a predicament with no outs on the board and bases chock full.
And some major trouble for Hyatt, who didn't really face that in his last 2 appearances. He gets a routine fly ball to center field here against Donovan Mitchell. The catch is made by Langley. He comes up firing, and his throw is a beauty. It keeps every runner at their current base. And it's an F8 for the first out in the second.
And that is exactly what Kyle Langley has done all season. One of the reasons why he was a VBL All-Star is because he can pinpoint throws from center field, right field, or left field, wherever he is listed in the outfield, right to the catcher. And the amount of times that we've seen him be able to get the ball home to get the third base runner tagged out is just incredible.
So the bases remain loaded, but now 1 out on the board. And a double play could end the inning as the 9-hitter Robinson Martin, the shortstop, digs in for Culpeper. His first plate appearance today. The leadoff man, Keaton Burrows, awaits on deck, and that's not somebody Charlottesville wants to face with the bases loaded. Crittenberger at third, Malessa at second, Turner at first for the Cavaliers. And here's the 1-0 from Hyatt. It's below the knees of Martin for ball 2. Hyatt's got to be tricky, or got to avoid the tricky situation of walking a guy, especially in the 9-hole, bringing in a run, and then flipping the lineup to the top for Burrows. Hyatt takes a deep breath and fires the 2-0 fastball. Clips the outside corner to get Hyatt back into the count.
You got to be extra careful against a guy like Robinson Martin, who walks twice as much as he strikes out. 15 walks this season compared to 7 strikeouts. A guy that is one of the more professional batters in the Valley Baseball League.
A .216 average for Martin this summer. That's a ground ball right back to Hyatt. He throws home, but his throw is wide, and here comes Crittenberger to score. A tough play there for Hyatt. A hard ground ball hit right back to him. He found it immediately, and he had plenty of time to make the throw, but he rushed it, airmailed it, and Culpeper gets on the board because of it.
Yeah, it was a really great play to locate the ball, but I think he was almost surprised at himself that the ball had popped right to him, that he didn't really know what to do with it in that aspect, and what seemed like it should have been a routine play ended up turning into a disaster, and Cavaliers are on the board.
So Martin reaches on a fielder's choice. Crittenberger scores on the error by Hyatt, and the lineup flips to the top, and Keaton Burrows. And now a 2-1 game in the top of the second inning. First pitch was upstairs to Burrows, who grounded out to Soroy at second base to begin the ball game. And after a rough second inning here for Hyatt, we're in the middle of that second inning. Chris Glaze, the pitching coach, out to have a chat with the Tom Sox starter.
Yeah, and it's something that needed to be done. Although he did have a good first inning, the second inning has not gone his way by any means. And typically a talk from Chris Glaze settles the pitchers down. And we've seen it a lot this season where it's been a bad situation. Bases have been loaded or runners are on the board early. And now looks like Hunter Hyatt will stay out. Chris Glaze will come back, and we'll hope to rectify.
So there goes Glaze back to the dugout. 2-1 game here in the top of the second inning. Bases loaded for Culpeper. Both of these teams vying for home playoff games come next week for the Valley League playoffs. Charlottesville in second place in the South at the moment. Culpeper in fourth place. Top three teams in each division get at least one home game. Here's the 1-0 from Hyde out to the mound visit. It's a line drive into left field for a base hit. It ties the game as Melissa scores on the RBI single from Keaton Burrows.
And you always knew that Culpeper was going to play Charlottesville hard. It happened in the first game of the doubleheader back on June 21st, a 5-2 victory for the Tom Sox, and then turned back around, and Culpeper won the second game 8-0. So no easy battles here for either team.
So station-to-station baseball for Culpeper in the top of the second gives way to Ethan Belk. Tied ball game, bases still juiced, but there is a first pitch strike from Hyatt. Something he did so well in that first inning. He got away from it so far in the second inning. But now he gets back into a count that he can much better work with against the second hitter in this Cavaliers lineup. The bases loaded, Hyatt comes set out of the stretch. The 0-1 home, fouled straight back, and it's 0-2.
Yeah, Ethan Belk grounded out to short last time out, and with a different situation here, there was nobody on base. There was also an out, but now you come in with 3 men on base, and a walk scores or a hit scores.
Belk has 6 RBIs this summer, 2 runners in scoring position, and the bases loaded. And he fouls off the 0-2. He almost went down to a knee to get that one. Back to Hyatt. Mentioned in the last inning, he hadn't faced as much adversity so far this summer as some of the other Tom Sox pitchers. He did give up 2 runs in his second appearance against Purcellville. Was nearly perfect against Harrisonburg 2 weeks ago. And then against the Turks last weekend, some slight issues, but this is the biggest danger zone that Hyatt's been a part of with the Tom Sox so far. It's a good-looking changeup right there off the left arm of Hyatt for ball 1, but this is something that he's going to have to work through. The Tom Sox bats looked good to start this one, but you want to keep the damage to a minimum in top 2 if you're Hyatt and the Sox. Just to reset the runners, it's Turner at third, Martin at second, and Burrows at first as Belk cuts through the 1-2 pitch for strike 3. A crucial second out for Hyatt.
Crucial is an understatement. He really needed to get somebody out, whether it was a strikeout or a flyout or a putout, and he did what has been hard for him to do so far today in pitching 3 strikes.
So that's the first strikeout of the day for Hunter Hyatt. His 13th of the summer. And now Alejandro Ludero with the bases juiced, swinging through the first pitch slider.
This is more of the Hunter Hyatt that we know and love. He's beginning to find his rhythm. He's getting more confident out there on the mound and be looking to retire this last batter and get out of a dangerous situation.
The game is tied after the error by Hyatt on the throw home, and the RBI single from Keaton Burrows into left field. Here's the 0-1. Ludero takes the changeup just low. French wanted that call badly. A good frame from the newest Tom Sox backstop. The count evens at 1-1 with 2 away in the top of the second. The pitch just missed from Ludero, who already singled today. Got the first hit of the ball game with a 2-out single up the middle in the top of the first. Culpeper would love to see him replicate that here. With the go-ahead run just 90 feet away at third base and Cameron Turner. Hyatt resets and takes a breath. Here's the 1-2 home. And he gets a shallow fly ball to right field. On the move is Perry Hargett, calling off Luderman to make the catch for the third and final out of the inning. Good job by Hyatt to get out of it, but it did come after Culpeper tied the game, most notably on that RBI single from Keaton Burrows. And after 1.5 from CHO Airport Field, it's 2 apiece between Culpeper and Charlottesville. Much different ball game here in the bottom of the second than it was when we entered the top of the second here in Charlottesville. The Tom Sox scored 2 in the bottom half of the first. Culpeper came right back and hit the Tom Sox with 2 runs to tie this game once again. 2 apiece to begin bottom 2, with the bottom third of the Sox order due up. Anderson French, Tanner Shadle, and Will Genowine against Ed Wagner, the starting pitcher for Culpeper, who gets French to foul the first pitch fastball over the backstop. Just the second game for French this summer. 1 at bat in Saturday's game that was resumed last night in Harrisonburg. 1 at bat, 1 hit for Anderson French, who fouls off another to make it 0-2.
Yeah, French he had a nice little blooper into center field that would be logged as his first hit as a Tom Sox. And at Virginia Tech this past season, his freshman season, he played in 41 games, batted .227, playing both behind home plate and at first base.
Ground ball off the mound, backhanded by Keaton Burrows, the second baseman. His throw is a tick late, and Anderson French has now 2 hits in his first 2 Tom Sox at bats.
Yeah, he's a really consistent hitter as well. At 19 hits for Virginia Tech last year, and now the Sox have 2 great rising sophomores that are happening to be Hokies in Hudson Luderman and Anderson French.
We'll see Luderman's first plate appearance most likely in the bottom of the 3rd inning, unless Charlottesville goes on a nice run offensively here in bottom 2. But the man at the plate now, Tanner Shadle, who hits a foul ball down the line but also loses the bat. Split in half. The top half of the bat went all the way to Randy Tomlin in the third base coach's box. The handle of the bat showered its way over towards the Tom Sox on deck circle, and immediately Shadle went in, grabbed a new piece of lumber, and is walking back to the right batter's box in an 0-1 count.
Yeah, Shadle, a guy that knows this Cavalier team pretty well. In the first game of the last doubleheader played in Culpeper on June 21st, he had a 2-run home run late in that game to give the Tom Sox some insurance runs for a 5-2 victory. So maybe that was part of the decision-making to put him in the lineup today, his first appearance in a little bit.
0-1 fastball misses high to Shadle. You're right, Landon. Big home run for Shadle in that one. The lone pinch hit home run of the season for Charlottesville. Part of a stretch of back-to-back games with home runs for Shadle. That one against Culpeper was his last one. Now the 1-1. It's a breaking ball, and it's a beauty on the outside. 1-2 now between Wagner, the starter, and Shadle, the first baseman for the Sox, in a 2-2 game in the bottom half of the second.
That pitch looked like one that Shadle would have liked to hit, and just right down the middle, but the movement on it was just a bit too much, and Shadle couldn't react to it in time.
Shadle goes after that 1-2 pitch, and it's fouled away.
That foul ball was
Souvenir
brought to you by
for some of the
First
animals in the
Heritage
forest behind us. Tom Sox looking to take the lead back here in bottom 2. Anderson French had a leadoff infield single. He's at first base. Nobody out in this inning. Wagner sets from the stretch, and the 1-2 to Shadle's in the dirt, but an excellent stop from Ludero behind the plate keeps French at first base.
And Shadle just trying to work a long at-bat here against Wagner. Typically a longer at-bat. Does see the hitter come out on top, and we saw that a lot last night in Harrisonburg. The Sox were able to work a lot of walks off of the Turks pitchers.
Wagner's 2-2 is drilled into left field. Base hit for Tanner Shadle, whose average had dipped below the Mendoza line. It was at 196 going into that at-bat. It'll go above 200 as he's now 1 for 1 on the day, and the Sox have back-to-back singles to begin the second.
Yeah, after the, I guess you would call it a mini catastrophe in the top of the second, this is exactly what the Sox needed. And now you have another hot batter coming into the batter's box, and Will Genowine, who went 1 for 2 against Harrisonburg in his first appearance.
That average now up to 211 for Shadle after his single to put him at first and French at second. For the 9-hitter, and Will Genowine making his home debut this afternoon for the Sox. He appeared in that game on Saturday. That was resumed last night. Went 1 for 2 with an RBI and 2 walks in his Tom Sox debut. And now he's making his second consecutive start in the outfield. He squares the bunt on the first pitch and gets it down right in front of the mound. Ed Wagner comes up throwing, and his throw is scooped out of the dirt by Cameron Turner at first base. It's a sacrifice for Will Genowine to move both French and Shadle into scoring position.
Yeah, a really smart play there from Genowine and the coaching staff to draw that up. Just exactly what the Sox needed. And now Perry Hargett, who has struggled this season, is hitting in a favorable position with 2 runners in scoring position.
So Perry Hargett, who's only hitting 200 this year with a runner in scoring position, steps up with 2 runners in scoring position in a tied game. And the first pitch he sees, he rolls over to the third baseman, Crittenberger, and French is caught in between home and third. A run down here for Culpeper and French. French is tagged out. Ludero hit the deck hard. He slipped in foul territory. But they do get the second out of the inning, and that's just one of those unfortunate plays for Charlottesville. French might have thought that one was going to be a little bit more towards foul territory. He kind of got caught in no man's land, Landon, and was too far off the base when Crittenberger got a hold of that baseball, and that's an easy second out for the Cavaliers.
Yeah, aggressive base running there from French, but when you're 90 feet away from home plate, you want to score, and you see a ball that looks like it could send you home, you're going to take off, and yeah, it ended up just turning into a back and forth between him and the Culpeper infielders, and eventually got out.
So there is still a chance here for Charlottesville to take the lead. Shadle to third. Hargett went up to second on that rundown. And now Jackson Soroy coming up to the plate with 2 away and 2 runners in scoring position. He takes strike 1 there on the breaking ball. Soroy walked, stole second base, and scored on Williams' RBI single an inning ago. And for Soroy, who's swinging a red-hot bat, he has a chance to give the Sox the lead back. Here's Wagner's 0-1. Soroy rolls it over to the shortstop in Martin. He makes the easy throw to first base, and the Tom Sox strand 2 runners in scoring position, wasting a golden opportunity to take the lead back. Instead, it's tied up at 2 apiece as we head to the 3rd from CHO Airport Field. Welcome back to Charlottesville. 2 apiece between Culpeper and your Tom Sox in the top half of the 3rd inning. Nathan Schwartz and Landon Weaver pleased to be bringing you the action for Game 1 of today's doubleheader. Jeremy Rose will take over for me in Game 2. Landon, you're here all night calling all the action for us here on the Tom Sox streaming platforms. New pitcher, though, for Charlottesville here in top 3, making his Tom Sox and collegiate debut is Caden Harris, the lefty out of UVA-Wise.
Yeah, it's exciting, seeing a new pitcher come in this late in the season. A different bit of light shown on the Tom Sox bullpen and mound. It goes to show how deep this bullpen has become. A lot of guys in there that can come out and pitch, and not a whole lot of change.
So Hunter Hyatt exits the game for Charlottesville after just 2 innings where he gave up 2 runs, only 1 earned on 2 hits. He walked 1 batter and struck out a batter, but you could tell in that 2nd inning just not much was working for Hyatt. And with each game having so much more importance and a lot of these guys not throwing in a while, Randy Tomlin and Chris Glaze have decided to pull the plug early on Hyatt and give way to the rising freshman Harris, whose first pitch in the Valley League is outside.
And Harris, a bit of a full circle moment with him and Randy Tomlin. He was part of a team that knocked LCA out of the playoffs as a member of Fluvanna High School.
And also for Harris, some familial ties here in Charlottesville as the next pitch misses high. He's the grandson of Tom Sox assistant coach Jim Darren. So Harris, knowing LCA and the Tomlin family from the high school playing days and being a part of the Darren family, you're right, Landon, a full circle moment for all those involved in this top half of the 3rd inning, with Harris taking the mound for the Tom Sox in his first collegiate appearance. He's headed to UVA-Wise this fall. And on just the 4th pitch of his outing, he walks Keani Painter on 4 pitches. So not an ideal start for Harris to his collegiate and Tom Sox careers.
Yeah, everybody's going to have butterflies when they make their debut, whether it's at a college or even here in the latter stages of the summer league. And so it doesn't surprise me that at bat went the way it did for Harris, but I'm sure he'll be able to locate some strikes and in this next one as he's gotten his arm warm.
Oh, man. 5th pitch by Harris hits Krittenberger in the helmet. You never like to see that, but it looks like Krittenberger's all right. And immediately Randy Tomlin makes his way out of the Tom Sox dugout to go have a chat with Caden Harris.
Yeah, that was scary. The sound that made hitting off of the helmet of Krittenberger was not pleasant. And, you know, that's why they wear helmets, because stuff like that, even though rare, it does happen, and you know, safety is always the most important thing.
So who knows how short the leash could be here for Harris. Nobody actively throwing for the Tom Sox in the bullpen. According to Randy Tomlin, everybody's available today. So that could mean quite literally anything for this Tom Sox pitching staff, especially with Hyatt already out of the game after just 2 innings. There's still 14 innings to play today alone, and then you look forward to tomorrow, another 16 innings to play tomorrow as well. No off days for the Tom Sox that are scheduled until the end of the season when it's all said and done. So a lot of baseball to play. The Tom Sox need outs, they need innings, and hopefully Harris can figure something out. But after the mound visit, it resets with Keone Painter at second and Kelly Krittenberger at first. Nobody out in the top of the 3rd of a tied game. First pitch to Maxwell Melessa misses high, and it's 1-0 to the Culpeper designated hitter, who was hit by a pitch and scored in the 2nd inning. He came around on the Keaton Burrows RBI single.
And to your point earlier about the amount of games that the Sox are playing, it makes that second or that 2 seed bye that much more important, considering that the Sox, if they were to not get that bye, then they would be playing north of 10 games or 10 days straight.
So a pitch clock violation there against Caden Harris, who's now down in the count 2-0. And Randy Tomlin throws the bag out, the rosin bag out to Harris. Melessa did appear to look to sacrifice on that first pitch. We'll see what he does here in a 2-0 count, with Harris yet to throw a strike, and that continues. It's ball 3, and French's throw goes into center field on the back pick attempt. So Roy couldn't get there. Both runners advance 90 feet. Painter to third, Krittenberger to second. And it just feels like the wheels are kind of falling off the bus here for the Sox in the 3rd.
Yeah, it's kind of all going wrong, and the fact that Caden Harris has thrown, I believe, 8 pitches now, and not one of them has gone down as a strike is it's really just not it's not a confidence boost for the Sox right now, and you can kind of see that.
Here's the 9th pitch from Harris, and he does get a swing and a miss. An aggressive swing there from Melessa, who's now up in the count, 3 balls and a strike, with first base open, and Culpeper needing just to move 1 runner 90 feet to take the lead for the first time here in game 1. 3-1 from Harris, and that hits Melessa. Painter walks on 4 pitches. Krittenberger and Melessa both get hit, and Culpeper has loaded the bases, and still there's nobody out in the 3rd.
I get that he's only thrown 9 pitches, but, I mean, if you're Randy Tomlin and the coaching staff, you've got to start thinking about a replacement here. The Sox, this is a worse situation than they found themselves in last inning. At least there was 1 out on the board at that point. There are no outs on the board now.
That's a good confidence boost, though, for Harris. Swing and a miss on the breaking ball from Cameron Turner, and it's 0-1. Turner was, funny enough, hit by a pitch his first time up. Culpeper's been hit 4 times already in this one. And now the 0-1 from Harris. Another breaking ball. It's hit right in front of the plate. Anderson French goes to first base and just gets that one out. Charlottesville trades the out for the run right there, with Culpeper taking its first lead. It's 3-2.
Yeah, a good, smart decision by French. Instead of trying to turn and make the difficult play at home, he makes the easy play at first. And even though a runner scores, you get an out on the board, which is, it's not a even trade-off, but it's something.
An RBI, 2-3 ground out right there for Cameron Turner. Picks up his 7th RBI this summer. Puts runners now at second and third for Donovan Mitchell, with the Cavaliers holding a 3-2 lead. First pitch from Harris. The slider's in there for a strike on the outside corner.
We are increasingly approaching the all-time hit by pitch in a single game record already, and we're only 2 1/3 innings into this one. We've already evened the third most in a game, which is 4. Has happened multiple times. 5 has only happened a couple times. Same with 6. Being Culpeper a week and a year ago-ish. So kind of deja vu for any Tom Sox fans that were watching last season.
1-1 from Harris. He finds the back door again, and it's 1-2 with 1 away as he looks for his second out in his first collegiate appearance.
It's good. He's beginning to find his rhythm. A lot of pitchers would have shelled out after walking a batter and then hitting 2 straight.
And he gets his first collegiate strikeout. He gets Mitchell to go down on strikes, and that is the confidence boost and maybe that sense of optimism and positivity that Harris needed to get through this inning as Robinson Martin, the shortstop, digs in.
Yeah, really, really huge moment there for him, and he's got to be feeling on top of the world now, not only having his first out, but getting his first strikeout to complement that.
And now Robinson Martin takes the first pitch fastball from Harris, who definitely seems to be going into a groove. And one thing for Harris, he will always be able to say that his first collegiate strikeout came against Donovan Mitchell.
It's a pretty cool thing to say, and he could phrase that and leave it so that people think that it's against the Cleveland Cavaliers shooting guard.
That's a good conversation starter in a few years for Harris.
I struck out Donovan Mitchell. Yeah, it has a good ring to it.
Just leave it at that. Let it be. Harris wants to leave those runners be at second and third and attacked Martin here. 1-1 is upstairs. First base is open still for Culpeper. Martin, the shortstop, is second plate appearance here. Reached on a fielder's choice in the second. 2-1. Another high fastball from the rising freshman Harris. A walk here would bring up Keaton Burrows for the second time in the game with the bases loaded. Last time, Burrows drove in the game-tying run in that same scenario. Here's the 3-1. Harris goes back to the curveball, and it's foul-tipped into the mid of French for strike 2. Big pitch here for Harris and the Tom Sox. Culpeper's put 3 unanswered runs on the board to take the lead for the first time.
Yeah, we noted about it earlier with Robinson Martin, a guy that's insanely hard to strike out.
What does Harris do on the full count? He goes to the changeup, and it's down and in for ball 4.
Number 2, Keaton
Another walk
Burrows.
there for Harris. That's the 4th free pass he's issued in the inning. It loads the bases for Burrows, one of the Valley League's best.
The man out of Pitt. And today he hasn't been as dominant. Already starting 1 for 2 with a RBI single last inning.
First pitch fastball misses high for Harris. RBI single for Burrows his last time up. Grounded out in his first at-bat today. That RBI was his 5th of the summer. He's been in that leadoff spot all summer long, keeping that RBI total low. And he takes strike 1 there on the curveball. Harris again, standing 5'10", 185. The rising freshman at UVA Wise. Just recently graduated from Fluvanna County High School just down the road. Facing a bases-loaded jam in the top of the 3rd. 1-1 Burrows laces it down the left field line. This brings in 1 already. Here comes the second runner around, and he touches the plate. It's a 2-run double for Keaton Burrows, and Culpeper leads 5-2.
Just didn't place that pitch in the right spot. And Burrows, a guy that if he sees a pitch that he likes, he's not going to take a second glance at it. He wanted it, he got it, and he absolutely laced that one into no man's land.
And that will be the end of the road for Caden Harris in his first appearance with the Tom Sox. Did not go his way. 3 runs already in the inning for Culpeper. And Randy Tomlin opts for Alex Bingler, who will enter the game for the Tom Sox for the first time in about 3 weeks. He'll be the new arm when we return to Charlottesville. Five-2 Culpeper in the top half of the third inning. Charlottesville did lead this game at 1 point, 2-0 before Culpeper put up 2 in the second and 3 here in the third inning and have runners at second and third with 2 away, with Alex Bingler entering the game for Charlottesville, making his first appearance since the 28th of June.
Yeah, a guy that has not seen a lot of playing time for the Tom Sox lately, just appeared in 5 games this season, including 2 starts, with an 0-1 record and only 13 innings pitched, but he's been consistent. 16 strikeouts and only 7 walks in his 13 innings of pitching.
His first pitch in nearly 3 weeks is outside for ball 1 to Ethan Belk, the right fielder. Robinson Martin leads at third. Keaton Burrows leads at second after his 2-run double down the left field line. 3-run deficit for the Sox in top 3. Here's Bingler's 1-0. Belk shoots it the other way down the right field line. Perry Hargett giving chase towards the chalk, and he makes the catch right near the base of the warning track for the 3rd out of the inning. So Bingler does his job to get the Sox out of the frame, but Culpeper did its job, scoring 3 to give themselves a 5-2 advantage. The Tom Sox have some work to do in the bottom half of the third inning, but the meat of the order is coming up. Elijah Williams, Hudson Luterman, and Patrick Neas in the 3, 4, and 5 slots are due up against the right-hander for Culpeper in Ed Wagner, who's looked really solid today. He did give up those 2 runs in the first and worked around 2 leadoff singles in the second, but he's buckled down, and now Culpeper's given him some run support in return. His first pitch of the inning is fouled straight back by Williams, and it's 0-1.
Yeah, Williams in the bottom half of the first inning with an RBI single, and was able to eventually get himself around to score, including a stolen bag, which was his first of the season. So starting off in Williams fashion, looking to continue.
A 1 changeup misses the zone to even the count at 1 apiece. Williams with an RBI single back in the first inning. It was the first run of the ball game for either side. He then stole second base and came around to score on Wagner's wild pitch later in the inning. And for Williams, that single extended his on-base streak to 6 games. Gave him his 13th RBI of the summer. He's just been so good in really every game he's played for the Tom Sox since joining the team on July 2nd. Now Wagner's 1-2 is chopped right to the backstop again from Williams.
And for some hitters and some players for the Tom Sox, we didn't really recognize their full hitting potential until, maybe their 3rd or 4th game here in Charlottesville. But with Williams, we saw it in his first at-bat, a couple of lasers out into the outfield.
Another foul ball there from Williams to keep the count at 1-2.
Would love to see what the exit velocity is coming off of his bat, though, because that ball absolutely sprints in the air whenever he pelts it off of his bat.
1-2 from Wagner, a breaking ball that never really broke to even the count at 2 apiece. Williams leading off the inning for Charlottesville with Luterman replacing Gamster to follow. The next pitch driven to deep right field. Back goes Ethan Belt to the warning track, and he makes the catch at the base of the wall for the first down of the inning. Only 290 out there to right field. Would have been a Mickey Mouse homer for Elijah Williams if he got it over the fence. But nonetheless, it would have been more than welcoming for all the Tom Sox fans in attendance to see Williams get one out of here. But instead, it's out number 1.
Yeah, coming from a field that was 400 to center last night, and now it's 365. Williams, he did lace a couple out, but didn't get anywhere close to a home run last night.
So that brings up Hudson Luterman for the first time in this one. Luterman was the pinch runner for Preston Gamster after Gamster came out of the game due to a hand injury in the bottom half of the first inning. He will not return in game 1, and it's unknown whether or not he will be available for the second game of today's doubleheader against Culpeper. But for now, Luterman, who came into that second base spot, digs in for the first time today. Here's the 1-1 from Wagner. Luterman way out in front of that off-speed pitch to make it 1-2. Hudson on the summer hitting .244, a .706 OPS, 1 homer, 11 RBIs, and 9 walks. The rising sophomore out of Virginia Tech.
Yeah, Luterman, as that ball goes over to where Luterman, if we were to create a heat map of all of his hits and where they land, that would be red hot over there and absolutely nothing in any other aspect of the field. He just loves to hit that opposite field ball and try and lace it down that third base line, and when it connects, it's really good.
He is a pull-heavy hitter down that left field line. His lone home run of the summer was back on the second day of the summer, June 1st against Woodstock. It was the first home run of the summer for Charlottesville. The Tom Sox have hit 12 of them this summer. One of the lower numbers in the Valley League, but a deeper field at parts here in Charlottesville.
And even though they've hit 12 home runs, it's kind of been their game plan to go small ball all season, and it's really worked for them. Just hitting singles, the occasional double as Luterman fouls that one over to the Cavaliers dugout. But it's really worked, and you get 2 runners on base, 3 runners on base, and you work your walks. You get a couple more bloopers into shallow center field, and that's how they've gotten a lot of their runs this season.
12 homers, 53 doubles, a handful of triples for the Tom Sox this summer through 31 games. 2-2 from Wagner to Luderman is crushed foul over towards the high school.
Yeah, there would also be a pretty big red spot over in that parking lot over there as well. Luderman just loves to pull that bat.
Nobody on in the bottom half of the third inning. 5-2 Culpeper. 2-2 count to Luderman with one away. Wagner gets the sign from Ludero and fires in the pitch. It's a breaking ball off the glove and right back into the glove of Wagner. And the first baseman in Turner plays some tiptoes with the first base bag for the second out of the inning. Well, that was not Turner, actually. That was number 12, Colby Motley, over at first base for Culpeper. So a defensive substitution for Culpeper in this bottom half of the third inning. Now Patrick Nias. Another ground ball off the glove of Wagner, and this time into center field. Burrows ran out of room.
Now batting, number 14,
And Nias
Kyle
is on with his first base hit of the day.
Yeah, that's important for Nias, a guy that struck out in his first at-bat today, and someone that has had a hot bat over the last 16 hours, and he's continuing that now.
So Nias extends the inning with a two-out single. He's at first base for Kyle Langley. First pitch to Kyle, driven foul over towards the Culpeper dugout along the third base side. Langley was the third strikeout victim of Wagner today to end the bottom half of the first. No strikeouts for Wagner since. Straight up defense for Culpeper behind Wagner. He takes a breath, and here's the 0-1. Fastball upstairs to even the count.
Yeah, if you're a Sox batter right now, it'll pay to be patient. You don't want to take any wild hacks at the ball. Just let the pitch come to you, especially with two outs on the board and one runner on base.
1-1. Langley shoots it the other way, but right to the left fielder, Keani Painter. Makes the catch no problem. And that is 3 outs in the bottom half of the third for N. Wagner, who worked around that two-out single from Nias, and Culpeper heads to the fourth with a 5-2 lead. And they've done everything right at the plate in the last 2 trips.
Yeah, and they got some help from Caden Harris last inning, being hit by a pitch twice and then eventually getting walked a couple times. Bases were loaded before an out was put on the board, and well, now turn over to Alex Bingler, who looks to provide some more consistent pitching, which the Tom Sox haven't seen since Hunter Hyatt dealt a pretty good top of the first.
So here's Bingler back out for his first full inning of work. Foul ball there from Ludero. Makes it 0-1.
Sorry, go ahead.
Bingler got the final out of the third inning when he got Belk to fly out to right. Got the Sox out of that major jam with runners at second and third and 2 away. Next delivery by Bingler. Flown to center field. Langley a couple steps to his left to make the catch.
Yeah, and apart from Ludero's single in the top of the first, he hasn't been able to get much going. Flying out to right field there, or in the second inning, and now lining out to center.
So from Ludero to Keani Painter. He's yet to get a base hit today, but he did reach base safely to lead off the third. 4-pitch walk against Harris. Now he faces another lefty in Bingler, and the first pitch is down and away. 3 lefties for the Tom Sox today against a predominantly right-handed lineup for Culpeper. 7 of the 9 starters batting from the right side, excluding Painter and Melessa, the 2 lefties.
Yeah, a bit of an interesting decision there, but maybe some mind games being played between the coaching staffs of the Tom Sox and the Culpeper Cavaliers.
Next offering from Bingler misses again. It's 3-0 between the Duke of James Madison and Bingler. And for Painter, the rising senior at BYU, he does take strike 1 right there. And it's 3-1 with 1 away in the top of the 4th.
And Painter was a pretty pivotal part of BYU's squad this past season, batting just around 284, and he's been there in his last couple years, batted 240 the season before that, getting his money's worth there as well. 25 games his first season and 34 games last season.
Another walk there for Keani Painter, his second of the ball game. And another guy that's worked 2 free passes today is Kelly Crittenberger. He enters the batter's box yet again for Culpeper with a walk and a hit by pitch already on his resume for today's game. Bingler remains in the stretch, and the first pitch to Crittenberger misses high.
And it's a good thing that Crittenberger is still able to play after he took that hit by pitch off the dome in the top of the third, and not a pleasant sight for the viewers here.
1 runner on, 1 away. Bingler to the plate with the 1-0. Out in front of the changeup is Crittenberger, and the count evens. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 away in the 4th. 5-2 Culpeper in game 1 of the doubleheader. Bingler takes a breath and resets at the belt. Middle of the rubber, he fires the 1-1. Same spot, same result. Swing and a miss from Crittenberger for strike 2.
2 very big pitches there for Bingler. He found something in that first strike, and now using the same aspect of it in that second one, he's finding his rhythm here.
Bingler's best friend here would be a ground ball. There goes Painter on the 1-2. It's a swing and a miss for strike 3. The throw gets into center field past 2 Tom Sox infielders, but did they call batter's interference on Crittenberger? They did, and that ends the inning. So it's a strike him out, interfere him out, double play to end the inning, and now Anderson French is a little bit beat up behind home plate.
Yeah, it looks like he's trying to stretch out that right leg. Most likely something over in that hamstring area based off how he's stretching. Randy Tomlin goes over to check him out, feeling over in that calf area. This has not been the greatest day for the Sox in the injury department. Hopefully French is able to continue playing, and he gets up, hops up, and looks to be all right.
He's a tough guy, but the Tom Sox have a decision to make. He's supposed to lead off the bottom of the 4th. We'll see what happens when we come back to Charlottesville. Well, good news for Tom Sox fans. Anderson French is wearing a helmet. He's wearing his leg guard, and he's stepping into the bottom part of your screen into the left batter's box for his second plate appearance of the day after what we deem taking a cleat to the calf to end that top half of the fourth inning on the batter's interference. Bit of an unorthodox double play to end the inning, but Bangler faces the minimum and keeps the game in a 3-run deficit for the Sox.
Yeah, another instance of a Tom Sox player putting their body out on the line to do something positive for the squad, and that's exactly what French did, and here he is on the offense.
He faces Ed Wagner for the second time, and the first pitch of the frame for the Culpeper starter misses high, and it's 1-0. French singled and then was caught in between third and home in a rundown in the second inning. But he's 2 for 2 to begin his time with the Tom Sox after beginning his summer with the Cavaliers in the Cape Cod League. Played 12 games up there, hit for a 194 average and a 548 OPS. But then about a week and a half ago made the move to Charlottesville after having a relatively solid season in limited playing time this spring with the Hokies.
Yeah, definitely a good spotlight on the team that they started out hot and then got into conference play and kind of got cold a little bit. French was certainly a guy that was in the lineup a lot, and he'll be in the lineup more for Chef Squad this upcoming season.
3 homers, 11 RBIs for French. Has singles in each of his first 2 Tom Sox at-bats so far. Now he's in a 2-2 count to lead off the bottom of the fourth with the Tom Sox down by 3. The pitch from Wagner tails outside, and it's a full count to the leadoff man in bottom 4 in French. After French, it's Shadle and Genowine for the Tom Sox, 7, 8, 9 in Charlottesville's order. 3-2 from Wagner. Rides inside, and French continues to find ways to get on base. 3 plate appearances, 3 trips to first. He walks for the first time in the green and blue.
Yeah, you'll take it any way you can get it. A single, a walk, no matter what, means that French is on base yet again, and he'll be looking to come around and getting home this time as he was left stranded at third when he singled in the second inning.
So the Tom Sox have the leadoff man on for the second time in this ball game. The first time was when French singled to begin the second. Now Shadle puts this one into orbit. Onto the hill in left field. Goodbye, baseball.
And Shadle knew exactly where that ball was going with the bat flip over to the dugout. And now he's rounding the bases and puts them back in this game. 5-4 now your score here in Charlottesville.
A 2-run moonshot for Tanner Shadle. His 3rd home run of the summer to put him back into the Tom Sox lead. And it cuts the deficit down to just 1 run.
He must love playing against the Cavaliers because that's his second 2-run home run against this team in the span of a month.
You mentioned it earlier, Landon, that big pinch hit home run against the Cavaliers about a month ago. He hits another mammoth blast against Culpeper here, and now it's 5-4. Still nobody out in this 4th inning for Will Genowine.
It's also the first time that they've gotten something off of Ed Wagner other than a single. Kind of unfazable so far today, but that's the first blemish on Wagner's resume here in Charlottesville.
And now the Sox have a prime opportunity to come even closer to a tied game. Needing just 1 run to tie, 2 to take the lead back. It was a 2-0 Sox lead heading into top 2 before Culpeper put up 5 unanswered, which were just answered by Charlottesville's 2-run homer by Shadle. Called strike at the bottom of the zone there against Genowine, who sacrificed his first time up in the second inning. Nothing came of it, though, for Charlottesville, who stranded runners at second and third with 1 away. Now Genowine laces one into right field. Three straight base runners to begin the bottom of the fourth for the Sox. The walk for French, the homer for Shadle, and the single for Genuine to flip the lineup over to Perry Hargett.
Yeah, and he's now got his third hit in 4 appearances at the plate. Or sorry, his second hit on this season, bringing his average back up to 500. But yeah, all these new additions to the Sox are really doing damage. You see French has gotten on base 3 times already, and well, Will Genuine is continuing his streak with 2 on-base appearances in 2 games.
Mound visit here for Culpeper, first one we've seen today. And a big spot for both sides here. Ed Wagner has had some good appearances this summer, but it's been the 4th inning where he hasn't really gotten past. Only 1 outing this year where he's gone past the 4th inning. That was on July 3rd when he went 4 1/3. Now the top of the order for the Tom Sox, trying to work Wagner out of the game in the 4th inning. Here's Perry Hargett. First pitch, some chin music to him, and it's ball 1.
Yeah, Wagner just beginning to lose some of his touch that we saw in the first 3 innings, and now allowing 3 straight Sox to get on base, and including Tanner Shadle's home run. He's just lost some of that swagger, and most likely won't be long before we see the end of his day.
There goes Genuine on the 1-0. He's got another stolen base. He had one last night in that resumption against the Turks. And now he moves himself into scoring position, putting the tying run even closer for Charlottesville in this 4th inning.
Wagner so far today has thrown 74 pitches, and we're not even through 4 innings yet. So he's definitely getting that arm tired, and even more so now that Perry Hargett is up to bat.
Called strike there against Hargett, who's 0 for 1 in the ball game. 0 for 2 rather, with a fielder's choice and a strikeout. Two 1, he goes to bunt and pops it up, diving and making the catch is the catcher Ludero. A bit of a delayed call right there from the umpires. Whether that one was caught in the air or not by Ludero, the catcher, but it is caught in the air, and Hargett's surprise bunt attempt goes haywire.
So that's the second diving catch that has gone against the Tom Sox in the last couple of days. We saw Roman Trinidad making an acrobatic dive last night to get Walker Buchanan out, and now Ludero at home plate with an acrobatic dive to keep Perry Hargett from getting on base.
Here's Jackson Soroy. The dirty Terp, first pitch fouled back. 0 for 1 today is Soroy. Ground out to the shortstop in Martin, his last time up, which ended the 2nd inning after walking and scoring in the 1st. There is some action in the Culpeper bullpen. It's the right-hander Tim Rio warming up for the Cavaliers. But Wagner stays in here and throws a 0-1 slider that's called strike 2 against Soroy.
Soroy's been doing pretty phenomenal, to say the least, lately. And already in this game, he got on base via the walk and was able to steal a bag before grounding out again in the 2nd inning. But he's had a lot of hits in his last few appearances.
0-2 against Soroy, who flares one into shallow right field. Charging in is Ethan Belk, and calling off Burrows is Belk to make the catch for the 2nd out of the inning.
Pinch hitting for your Tom Sox, number 31.
And here's an interesting decision here for the Tom Sox. It's Brock Clayton pinch hitting for Charlottesville for Elijah Williams. So there's been a lot of substitutions already. We saw Gamster come out of the game due to injury. French was banged up, nearly came out of the game, and now Williams is out of the game. And Clayton enters as the designated hitter. He comes into the game with a chance to tie it, with a runner at 2nd and 2 away. First pitch that Clayton sees today, he rolls it over towards the Sox dugout.
Clayton, he has gotten his bat on the ball this season, but it feels like he's just due for more. There have been a lot of times where he's line one that's gone straight to the first baseman, or a line out over to right field, and we're just waiting for him to get a game where he gets a couple hits that really go his way.
Wagner's 0-1 is taken for a strike. Backdoor breaking ball right there for Wagner against the lefty Clayton. And it's 0-2 with 2 away. Will Genuine's the runner at second base after he singled and stole that second base. Back-to-back pop-outs for Hargett and Soroy. Now the 0-2 to Clayton. Is rolled over to the second baseman, and Burrows, the spin, the toss, and the out for Culpeper. Nifty play by Burrows to end the inning, but Tanner Shadle brought Charlottesville within 1, sending a baseball onto the hill and left. It's 5-4 Culpeper after 4. Souvenir for a young fan, and it's a 1-run game in the top of the 5th with Alex Bingler returning for the Sox and getting a swinging strike to begin the frame against Maxwell Melessa.
So I know that there's the Triple Crown if you were to fly out to left, right, and center, and then you've got your sombrero depending on how many strikeouts you have. Maxwell Melessa is 1 hit by pitch away from completing that trifecta. Is there a verbiage for that we haven't seen yet so far?
Lucky. I think that's the only verb used to describe that, or adjective, whatever you want to call it. Here's the 1-1 from Bingler. Does ride a bit inside, but does clip the strike zone to put Bing up 1-2.
Yeah, Bingler really finding his stride now, dealing ahead of the hitter, and that's where he wants to be.
Here is that 1-2 pitch. He goes to the breaking ball and gets Melessa to chase for strike 3. Second strikeout for Bingler after he got Crittenberger to go down on strikes for the second out of the 4th, right before that batter's interference play ended the inning.
Yeah, this is kind of surprising considering he hasn't pitched in 3 weeks. It's been a seamless transition to get himself back into the strike count, and already 2 strikeouts to his name.
Now Colby Motley digs in for Culpeper for his first plate appearance of the game. He subbed in as a defensive replacement for Cameron Turner a few innings ago. Now the 0-1 from Bingler's in the dirt, and the count evens. Motley was Culpeper's participant in Sunday's home run derby out in Harrisonburg for the All-Star festivities. Motley didn't make it out of the first round. I don't believe he hit a single home run in the derby, but still very cool for him to be a part of those festivities. The derby was won by Stanton's Wyatt Campbell. Patrick Nias hit 3 home runs in the derby, advancing into the semifinal round, which featured 5 players due to a tie between 4th and 5th place. But back to Motley, he fouls off the 1-2 to stay alive against Bingler.
And Nias' success on Sunday certainly carried over to last night when he hit another home run at Eagle Field at Veterans Memorial Park to get his 6th there in the last few days.
He sure did. Barely cleared the fence and left to extend a Charlottesville lead. That was already at 5, then it went up to 7-0 after Nias' blast. And that kind of continued to set the tone for Charlottesville's offensive breakout last night. The 14 runs that the Sox scored were the most runs they've scored in a single game this summer. Another foul ball there for Motley to stay alive. And the more impressive part, Landon, is that came in just 7 innings. And 7 of those 14 runs came in the top of the 7th.
Yeah, they really, once they had their foot on the gas, they didn't let up. They cruised down the highway, down 81, and back on to 64 with a W in their hands.
Even count between Bingler and Motley works in Motley's favor after the fastball misses in the other batter's box from the Tom Sox southpaw. On the season for Motley entering this one, 247 average, 3 homers, 19 RBIs. Did not play this past year at VCU, and he's headed to first base with a long walk against Bingler.
Number 15, Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah, Bingler just got a head out in that count early, but then lost it a little bit, really trying to get Motley to chase, and he was unable to. It's going to bring up Donovan Mitchell.
Mitchell struck out in his last at-bat against Caden Harris, the lone strikeout of the day for the rising freshman, who exited after just 2/3 of an inning, giving up 3 earned runs on 1 hit, walking 2 and getting that 1 strikeout. Hunter High at the starter, 2 innings, 1 earned run on 2 hits with a walk and a strikeout. 0-1 from Bingler, goes all the way to the backstop. Anderson French had no chance of getting that one.
Motley will take advantage of that and jog himself over to second base. Another Cavalier runner in scoring position today.
And this is what Culpeper did in the 2nd inning in getting response to Charlottesville's runs. When Charlottesville put up 2 in the bottom of the 1st, Culpeper came back with 2 in the 2nd. Charlottesville just put up 2 in the 4th. Culpeper threatening in the 5th. There goes Motley on the 1-1. The pitch is rolled over to the shortstop, Soroy, who has no play anywhere. And it's an infield single for Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah, really good base running there from Colby Motley. Got on the jump early and didn't give Soroy a chance to make anything out of that play. Not that he would have, regardless of what had happened. But unfortunate there for the Tom Sox, but that's just a kudos to the base running from the Cavaliers.
So with action now again in the Tom Sox bullpen. Now it's Bingler looking to fight. Runners on the corners for Culpeper. With 1 away in the top of the 5th. And here's Robinson Martin, the shortstop, in the 9 spot. First pitch from Bingler inside for ball 1. Martin with the fielder's choice, his first time up. He walked in the 3rd, so he's 0 for 1 on the day. Average has dropped down to .211 on the season for Martin. There goes Mitchell on the 1-0. Anderson fakes the throw to second, pump fake to third as well. Mitchell picks up a stolen base, and Culpeper has 2 runners in scoring position.
Yeah, I don't want to take any risks there, especially noting how many times the ball has skipped on by Soroy and over to Langley in center field, which is not what you want to be happening if you're a fan of the Sox.
Infield drawn in on the 1-1. French picks that out of the dirt, keeping the runners put. The Tom Sox staff knows the importance of these runs, with the league prioritizing the division games. Every single game from here on out means that much more to tiebreaker scenarios, especially considering not all teams will probably wind up playing the same amount of games. 2-1, Bingler misses again, and it's a 3-1 count. Worth noting that first base is open here. Also worth noting that Keaton Burrows awaits on deck, who's come up with the bases loaded twice already and driven in a combined 3 runs in those instances. But on the 3-1 here to Martin, it's a foul ball off the backstop to make it full.
A strikeout is imperative here from Alex Bingler. And yeah, you talk about Keaton Burrows, who's gotten an RBI at least in his last 2 at-bats. Really has it going. And you'd like to hold him off for another inning or when there are not runners in scoring position.
3-2 from Bingler. Up and away, ball 4, and Culpeper loads the bases again. They did it in the 2nd. They did it in the 3rd. They've done it again here in the 5th. And the most dangerous hitter on either side today steps in Keaton Burrows. 2 for 3 is Burrows. An RBI single in the 2nd. A 2-run double his last time up in the 3rd. It's his 3rd straight plate appearance coming up with the bases loaded, as the Cavaliers try to get some of those runs back off that Shadle home run. Bingler works ahead of Burrows here with the fastball. It's a good start for Bingler.
It's really important for him to get ahead of the count. I feel like the last couple of at-bats, he's fallen behind into a 3-1 or a 3-0 hole. And at that point, it's just trying to do too much. And now that he's working ahead, it seems like he has a chance to do more of what he wants to do. Now
Burrows works it even. 1-1 count here to Burrows, who's headed to Wofford this fall after transferring over from Pitt. Burrows has been one of the more consistent hitters in the Valley League all summer. A couple of Division Hitter of the Week awards for him back on June 10th and June 17th. He got the hitter award both of those weeks. Harrisonburg's Cannon Fizel got the pitcher award both of those weeks. Culpeper's actually had 5 of those award winners combined between the hitters and the pitchers, despite their 14-17 record. Bingler's 1-2 is tapped foul by Burrows. Man, he's just so good at fighting off anything in or out of the zone lane. And I mean, that pitch was a good foot outside, and Burrows just put the bat head out and fought to stay alive.
Yeah, it kind of goes to show why his batting average is so high and why he's renowned across the Valley Baseball League for his hitting. He's able to get his bat on the ball in kind of unorthodox positions, and because of that, he is able to get on base because it lands in somewhere that either the infielders or the outfielders don't expect it to.
Bingler spiked another one on that last pitch, and now the count even again, 2-2 with 1 away between Bingler and Burrows. Burrows with a deep drive to left. Ranging back is Genuine. He has a beat on this one. He makes the catch. Tagging from 3rd is Motley. And Culpeper gets one back on the sac fly from Keaton Burrows, who now has 4 RBIs today.
Just a dominant performance from the former Pitt Panther and the future Wofford Terrier. Someone that they really do not want to see that bright blue helmet coming up to the batter's box.
It's been rare that the Tom Sox allow a hitter to get 4 RBIs in a game this summer. Topher Jones had 4 against the Tom Sox back on June 12th when the Express came to town. Jones also had 5 hits in that one, including 2 homers. That was probably the single best game that an opposing hitter has had against Charlottesville this summer, but Burrows is competing for that crown. But now there's 2 outs on the board, and Culpeper leads 6-4 for Ethan Belk.
Yeah, it's feeling like we're going to have a pretty high-scoring affair here at CHO Airport Field. It's 6-4, not even halfway through the game yet. But the Sox are fighting, and the offense is doing well. It's just the pitching needs to be a little more consistent.
Bingler looking for one more out to get out of the inning. He faced the minimum in the 4th, got the final out of the 3rd. Just gave up that first run of his day on that sac fly by Keaton Burrows. And runners remain at 2nd and 1st for the Cavaliers here with 2 away. Mitchell's at 2nd, Martin at 1st. 2-run lead for Culpeper in game 1 of the doubleheader. Bingler's 2-0, down and in. And now it's a 3-0 count And Bingler's in danger of loading the bases again for the 3-hitter in Ludero.
Ludero hasn't been as threatening today as he normally has been, flying out and lining out in his last 2 at-bats, apart from singling in his first.
Bingler's 3-0 right down the middle, just where it needed to be to get him back into the count. It's 3-1. Bingler's had some really good outings this summer, including one against Culpeper back in that doubleheader where he went 3 1/3 innings. His longest appearance this summer. He's working back into the count here. Another perfectly painted pitch from the southpaw to make it full with 2 away against Belk. A combined 6 1/3 innings for Bingler in his last 2 appearances. He's through 2 full innings here, looking for one more out to escape the jam. He might get it. A tapper over to Luderman. The backhand, it's under his glove. And here comes a runner to score from second. Donovan Mitchell with excellent base running, scoring from second on an infield single for Ethan Belk. We'll give him the RBI, and it's 7 for Culpeper.
Yeah, just not playing team baseball out there, or for what we've seen of the Sox lately, a bit more on the air side. But now we've got a mound visit from Randy Tomlin. It is going to be the end of Alex Bingler's day.
Bingler got the ground ball he wanted, but it was too softly hit over to Hudson Luderman at second base, and it's back up to a 3-run lead for Culpeper. Lane Duff entering the game for Charlottesville when we return. It's 7 for Cavaliers. Lane Duff enters the game for Charlottesville, another left-handed pitcher used by Randy Tomlin and company in this one. Hunter Hyatt gets the start, Caden Harris follows. Alex Bingler goes 2 innings in middle relief. And now Lane Duff enters the game with 2 outs in the top half of the 5th inning. The 4th arm used by Charlottesville today. He enters with runners on second and first and 2 away. 7-4 Culpeper in game 1 of the doubleheader. Double steal on the first pitch of Duff's appearance, and Anderson French sails the throw to second base. Coming in to score is Robinson Martin. Over to third is Ethan Belk. And nothing seems to be going right for Charlottesville in this 5th inning.
Yeah, that's the perfect way to put it, Nate. Just lots of errors within the infield, and just when you thought that Bingler would be able to get the Sox out of some trouble. Just a perfectly looping ball over the pitcher and then into the shallow center field. Was able to get Belk on base. And yeah, now an 8-4 game here. The Sox, after crawling ever so closely back to the Cavaliers' lead, they let it balloon again.
And that's what I talked about earlier in this frame, Landon, of Culpeper getting those response runs just like they did in that second inning. And here they got those runs back, and now we're adding to that total and are threatening even more with a runner at third and still 2 away. Duff's 1-1. Ludero didn't really have a good idea whether he wanted to swing or not, and it's 1-2.
All Duff needs to do is find a pitch that works for him and throw it, hoping that Ludero will take a hack at it or just watch it fly by.
5.40 ERA for Duff this summer across 13 1/3 innings. His first appearance since the 7th of July. This one's in the dirt. French blocks it enough to keep Ethan Belk at third base.
Yeah, French a little late to react to that ball going wide. I guess he thought, or maybe forgot that there was a runner at third. Luckily, Lane Duff was on it and signaled to him to get the ball, and no harm, no foul.
So Duff will reset from the stretch. The 2-2 with 2 away. Fouled back again. Ludero 1 for 3 in the ball game, a single in the first. 2 flyouts in his last 2 plate appearances. Flew out to right to end the second and then lined out to Kyle Langley in center to begin the 4th inning. Ethan Belk remains at third base. 8-4 Culpeper in the 5th. 2-2 by Duff. Fouled back again. Good fight here from the catcher Ludero, looking for a multi-hit game.
Hey, I'll get it, fellas. Don't worry.
Home plate umpire Mike Mackey seemed a little annoyed that he had to go fetch a stray ball instead of one of the 2 Cavaliers or Tom Sox that typically do that job.
Everybody resets following that. And Ludero just keeps fighting off these tough pitches from Lane Duff.
It's part of the long at-bats, and yeah, Ludero doing a good job to stay alive, and Duff has got to try something a little different now. Ludero's fouled off, I think that's 3 straight pitches from him.
So a long fight here between Duff and Ludero. Who will win the battle? Ludero wins it. A single into left field. It's the 3rd hit of the inning for Culpeper, and they now lead 9-4. Back-to-back RBI singles for the Cavaliers. Belk's on the infield. When Luderman couldn't make the play, now Ludero finds the 5-6 hole. Past the diving glove of Nias. And Culpeper extends its largest lead up to 5 runs.
It's going to be a lot of fighting back that the Sox will have to do in this late half of the game. So their work is certainly cut out for them, but we've seen crazier things happen in the Valley Baseball League. And even though 5 runs may seem like a lot, that can change in one swing.
And it's the mental aspect of things for Charlottesville as well. Even though you're down by 5 and you've had a couple of players have to exit the game due to injury, there's still another baseball game to play once this one is over. Got to reset, and there's still a lot of time left in this game alone to make a big comeback. We've seen Charlottesville do it at times this summer. Duff struggling to get ahead of these hitters, though. Was in that long fight with Ludero, now down 2-1 with Keani Painter, who's already walked twice in the ball game. 2-1, and then left on left is popped up. Right side of the infield, it's Shadle calling off Duff and making the catch with 2 hands for the final out of the frame. But it's a 4-run top of the 5th for Culpeper, and they take a 9-4 advantage heading into the bottom half of the 5th. And when we come back, Landon Weaver will take over on the play-by-play and take you through the rest of Game 1 of today's doubleheader between the Cavaliers and the Tom Sox.
the work has been cut out for the Charlottesville Tom Sox as we dive into the bottom half of this game. I'm Landon Weaver alongside Nathan Schwartz, and Hudson Luderman stepping up to the bag in a 9-4 deficit for the Tom Sox, and a new pitcher on the mound for the Culpeper Cavaliers. It's Tim Rio. His first pitch to Luderman. Luderman chops it, foul, strike one.
Yeah, first appearance of the summer for Rio with Culpeper, the rising sophomore at Hood College. Only 7 appearances for Rio this spring out in Frederick, Maryland. 3 of them being starts, 20 innings, a 9-flat ERA for Rio in his first year of college baseball.
That next pitch to Luderman in the dirt for ball 1. Count evens at 1 apiece. So a seasoned, I guess you could call him a seasoned veteran, not really, but going into his sophomore year at Virginia Tech, Luderman already a lot of at-bats to his name. And Rio, on the other hand, this is his first appearance in the summer league and didn't have a whole lot of appearances at Hood College, as he deals that one a little wide for ball 2. Luderman looking to spark a Tom Sox comeback, and he gets hit right in the back of the neck. Luderman will take his walk to first, and no outs on the board, and the Sox have 1 on base.
Yeah, we saw Crittenberger take one to the helmet earlier. Luderman takes one right at the top of the shoulder on the back, and that can't feel good, but it, is something, potentially starting something here for Charlottesville. Down by 5, you're going to have to chip away at this lead. You'll take a base runner however you can get it.
Now would be a perfect time for another Nias blast as he steps up to the plate with a runner on first. Takes a hack at that one, foul tips it just behind the home plate umpire, Mike Mackey, for strike 1. Nias out of Gardner-Webb did not play this past season as he was hit by a couple balls and sustained a couple of concussions that kept him out of the 2025 season. But he's certainly stepped onto the collegiate scene here this summer and taken full advantage. The 0-1. Nias again. A little check swing that flies foul into the fence behind the home plate. Count moves to 0-2. Nias finds himself in an early hole, but nothing that he can't work out of. Again, Luderman on first. Rio will deal. The 0-2 coming to Patrick Nias. Nias takes a hack at that, pops it up into the air. It's going to be Keaton Burrows settling under it and making the grab for out number 1.
Good pitch there from Rio. Fastball top of the zone. Likely going to get a pop-up in that scenario with the other sequence of his pitches. And that's just good execution right there for Rio for his first out of the summer with Culpeper.
Yeah, made it look easy and made it look like he's been doing it for the entire year and not stepping up on July 17th. Just exactly 2 weeks out from what would be the potentially last day of the Valley Baseball League season. Up to the batter's box steps Kyle Langley, center fielder from James Madison University. Looking to initiate some contact here. He watches that one sail into the strike zone. 0-1. Langley not really a power hitter. Did have a home run to right field earlier on this season, but that's been about it. The 0-1. A pass ball that Luderman will take full advantage of, scurrying his way to second.
Those are the kind of things that Charlottesville has to capitalize on in the rest of this game. Looks like Culpeper's offense is firing on all cylinders. They've had a lot of success over the better part of the last month or so at the plate. So making sure that you can counter that with continuing to apply pressure is going to have to be something that Charlottesville tries to do in the back half.
The 1-1 to Langley, he just chops foul. Love's trying to hit that liner on the first base line, but unable to connect on it there. 1-2 now, the count against Langley. Rio trying to retire his second batter of the season after Nias flew out to second base. The 1-2. Langley takes a swing at that one, drives it back to right field, going back to get it, and over the wall is Belk, and Langley will be able to take that one for a double as the ball did not fall into Belk's glove and dropped into the fence. So a stand-up double for Kyle Langley, sending Luderman to third base, and now Anderson French will step up to the plate with 2 runners in scoring position, trying to get the Sox back into this game.
And that's a big hit right there for the Tom Sox. Even though Luderman's unable to score on that one, just, again, applying that pressure, continuing to move runners into scoring position and setting it up for the next guy. Anderson French is a guy that's reached base in all 3 of his plate appearances. Shadle follows. He's 2 for 2 today with that home run. So even though you don't get that run right there, the bottom third of the order has produced today, and this is a really good spot for Charlottesville, and that was a really good swing from Langley.
So a quick mound visit from the Cavaliers coach to Tim Rio. Leaves Rio out there. But yeah, this bottom third of the order for the Tom Sox, French, Shadle, and Genowine, all doing damage here for the Sox in this game. And Genowine and French, the new additions, starting off strong here in Charlottesville. The first pitch, the French with 1 out on the board, 2 runners in scoring position. He fouls that one back for strike 1. French, a pretty powerful hitter. A couple of his home runs at Tech sailed over that right field wall. A pretty big field to hit out of. The 0-1, French fouls that one the opposite direction into the parking lot for strike 2.
Brought to you by Taylor's Auto Body, Brookway Drive, Charlottesville, 434-296-9821.
Luderman, 90 feet away from home plate, hoping that his collegiate teammate sends him in to score. French down to his last strike. Rio will deal. And French takes that one smartly as it sails above the strike zone for ball 1.
That's a really tough pitch to lay off of. Rio was able to execute that and land it on the Nias at bat when he got the pop-up to second base. French showing the discipline, though, just as he has in his first 3 at-bats.
The 1-2. French lines that one into center field. Going back at the wall is Mitchell, and he will make the grab, but that's going to send Luderman home. And moving Langley to third. So the Sox get one back thanks to the sac fly RBI from Anderson French. A lot of power off of that bat. Unfortunate that it couldn't find the promised land, but nonetheless, the Sox trail 9-5. First run scored here in the bottom of the 5th inning. 2 outs on the board as Tanner Shadle steps up to the plate in a similar situation, except that the runner is 90 feet away instead of on first base. First pitch to Shadle. Swings and fouls that one back for strike 1.
And going back to French, you wish that one was down the right field line. Maybe if he was a little bit more out in front of that pitch, it's a 3-run homer instead of the sac fly.
Just 290 out to right field. The 0-1. Shadle watches that one curve into the strike zone for strike 2. Sox are down to their last strike of this inning. Would love to see them get some more runs on the board to make that deficit a little less menacing. The 0-2 away for ball 1. Shadle gets on the board.
And he's just got to continue to fight here. 2-strike approach. Don't try and do too much. Hard hit ground ball. See what happens. Maybe it sneaks through.
Rio, the 1-2 to Shadle. Just a bit below the zone for an even count at 2 apiece. Tanner fighting back after being down 0-2 early in this count. Trying to keep this inning alive. The 2-2. Shadle swings and cracks that one into center field. Not going to drop in. A outreaching glove by Ethan Belk will end the inning. Sox get one back and trail 9-5 as we head to the top of the 6th. head into the top of the 6th inning, the Sox get one back in the bottom of the 5th, courtesy of an Anderson French sac fly, sending Hudson Luderman home to score. But the Sox team has really had a resurgence lately and gotten themselves into 2nd place in the South Division. But let's take a look at the rest of the Valley League standings. You see Strasburg and Harrisonburg heading each of their respective conferences, with Strasburg holding the most wins of the season with 24. Woodstock falling back a little bit, still in 2nd and 20 and 13, and filing out the rest of the North Division is Winchester, Purcellville, and Front Royal. On the south side, Harrisonburg leading the South, Charlottesville, as we mentioned, 2nd in the Southern Division, and Stanton, Culpeper, and Covington. All the divisions are pretty tight, especially in that 2 through 4 range, and this last week of the season is going to be very important.
Yeah, that's really the thing to look out for, is with about a week to go, what teams rise up, what teams fall, and what teams are going to be hosting games early in the playoffs. Remember, the 1st and 2nd seeds in each division get a bye. The 3rd and 4th seeds in each division host a first-round game.
Duff will deal the first pitch to Kelly Crittenberger. It's going to be just a bit outside for ball 1. So Sox down 9-5 here in this first game of the doubleheader against the Culpeper Cavaliers. The 1-0. Can't locate the zone yet again. Count moves to 2-0. First pitch for game 2 tonight will come just about 30 minutes after the conclusion of game number 1. 32 innings for the Sox in the next couple of days. The 2-0 locates the zone for strike 1. Lane Duff nipping the edge.
And that's where you need one of these pitchers to really give you some length. Hyde only going 2 innings, 2/3 for Harris, 2 for Bingler. Maybe Lane Duff could be a guy that gives you 3 innings, maybe even, if things go his way, into the 9th inning or the rest of this game, setting you up for game 2, where Tim Lawson's expected to get the start, and then you go from there.
The first thing you need is a scoreless inning for the Cavaliers, as Lane Duff has worked this count even. The 2-2 pop foul by Crittenberger over towards the batting cage for the Sox. Count remains at 2 apiece, but yeah, you need a scoreless inning for the Cavaliers if you really want to start making that comeback. 4 runs is not, that could all change in the swing of a bat. Duff will deal the 2-2. Popped up into the air by Crittenberger. Coming to get it is Luderman. He settles under it and makes the grab. 1 out on the board for the Sox.
And interestingly enough, getting that first batter out is something that Charlottesville did in that 5th inning before Culpeper got those 4 runs later on. But definitely good to keep that trend going of getting the first batter out. And now it's Maxwell Melessa coming up in a left-on-left matchup.
Melessa so far today has been hit by a pitch twice and struck out in his last at-bat. Had some success against Charlottesville in the first doubleheader they played, as Lane Duff's first pitch can't locate the zone for ball 1, but I do believe Melessa homered in game 1 of the doubleheader the Tom Sox played against Culpeper late last month. Duff will deal the 1-0. Locating the zone, that's strike 1. Duff able to get on board early in this at-bat. A dangerous hitter, Melessa. Duff will deal. Melessa takes a hack at it, getting down on his knees for it, but nonetheless a strike. 1-2 now the count. Lane Duff certainly finding his confidence here late in this game. The 1-2. Melessa swings and drives that one into right field. Coming to grab it is Langley, and he does. Taking over Hargett's territory, but nonetheless, it's another out for the Sox, and the first 2 batters are retired here in the top of the 6th.
Really liking what we're seeing here from Duff. He's not overpowering anybody so far. He's induced contact against all 4 batters he's faced, but the last 3 batters, it's been weak contact after Ludero had that hard ground ball RBI single into left field. He's doing his job and keeping the Sox in a good position here. Now he just needs to get 1 more out to get out of the inning.
He's going to have to get through Colby Motley. The first pitch to him is down for ball 1. Motley came in for Cameron Turner and was walked in his last at bat. The 1-0 just inside the zone for strike one. Duff nipping both edges so far this inning. Count evens at 1 apiece with 2 outs here in the top of the 6th inning. The 1-1 swing and a miss from Colby Motley. Took a wild gash at that one. And now Culpeper is down to their last out. This would be the second 1-2-3 inning if the Sox were to see it out here. Duff will deal the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Clayton just a bit early on that one and flips his bat in disgust as he's down to his last strike. The Sox are also down to their last strike in this bottom of the 6th. Game 1 here in Charlottesville of 2. The 1-2. Clayton skies that one up in the air. Coming over to get it, settling under it is Motley. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy to end this bottom of the 6th. Score is still the same. Cavaliers lead 9-5. Lane Duff will continue his outing as we begin the 7th inning. Landon Weaver alongside Nate Schwartz here at CHO Airport Field. And the Sox still down 9-5. The first scoreless inning in a little bit, pitched by Lane Duff last time out. Now he will face off against the Cavaliers, the leadoff man of this inning, Donovan Mitchell. Not the Cleveland Cavaliers Donovan Mitchell, but the Culpeper Cavaliers Donovan Mitchell. And the first pitch to him is a ball. The 1-0. Mitchell swings and drives that one into shallow center field. Langley will come to grab it, but not before Mitchell reaches first.
Exactly what Mitchell wants to do right there. Hit it right back where it came from. Hard hit line drive up the middle. Culpeper will take that every time as they look to tack onto this 4-run lead.
The Sox need, well, earlier in this game, it was the pitching that was doing well, and then the Sox would complement that with some hitting. And then the pitching fell apart, and the hitting did as well, and then the hitting came back again, but the pitching faltered yet again. Just hasn't been consistent for the Sox as Duff will throw over and get Donovan Mitchell out at first. An amazing heads-up play by Lane Duff and Tanner Shadle working in tandem to get Donovan Mitchell out at first and put one on the board for the Sox.
Haven't seen a lot of pickoffs this summer. There's been a lot of stolen bases across the league, but it's rare to see a pitcher continue to get that success with the pickoff move, but that was a really good execution from Duff.
And Duff will follow that up with a blistering strike. Count will move to 0-1. up against Robinson Martin, who we've noted several times today is one of the hardest players to strike out in the Valley League. Only 7 to his name so far this summer. The 0-1 just a bit away for ball 1. Count will even at 1 apiece. That's a huge confidence boost after you let up a single to their leadoff man, but you get them out on a pickoff. So really, everything's even, and you're just now up to your second batter, the 1-1. Robinson Martin skies that one foul.
Remember, fans, turn in
1-2.
any retrieved foul balls to the concession stand for a spectacular prize.
Martin has been walked in his last 2 at-bats after a fielder's choice got him on base in the top of the second. The 1-2 to Martin. Just can't locate the zone, barely outside for ball 2. Again, an even count, this time at 2 apiece.
Duff's location of his pitches have been really solid so far. We saw that in the 1-2-3 6th, and so far here in this 7th inning, other than that one pitch to Mitchell.
Martin again skies that one foul. Count will stay the same at 2-2.
To the concession stand.
Martin hitting .216 on the season in 13 games and 37 at-bats. No home runs to his name yet. And the count will stay at 2-2 with Duff trying to strike him out. He won't do it there as that pitch goes outside yet again, trying to get Robinson to chase. That one just a bit too far outside, and the count will run full. The payoff pitch coming from Lane. Right down the middle for a call, strike 3. Martin was ready to go to first, but he'll be called back by Mike Mackey and return to his seat in the dugout.
Can't get much better location than that if you're Lane Duff. Fastball in the outer half of the plate against a hitter in Martin that's had success in working counts today. And on a count where it's going to go either way, Duff wins the battle, and that's huge to have the bases empty for Burrows.
Exactly right, Nate. It seems like this is the first time today that Burrows comes to the plate with nobody on base. After the last couple of at-bats, he's had somebody 90 feet away. So less pressure situation for Lane Duff as he's really dealing so far, retiring at least 6 in a row. The 1-0 to Keaton Burrows, trying to keep this lead at bay. That one just a bit low and inside for ball 2. Burrows ahead early.
Burrows did have nobody on when he came up to lead off the ball game, but the last 3 plate appearances for him have all been with the bases loaded. So definitely a different situation for him in this game in particular.
That ball sails high, and French has trouble trying to glove it, but it's no problem with nobody on bases. And as you mentioned, that leadoff hit was a ground out to second that was easily put out at first with Shadle. So Burrows has not had success with empty bases so far today. Duff down in a 3-0 hole. He'll deal. Finding the zone for strike 1. Good pitch there from Duff, just getting the inside edge, making French's life easy. Trying to work back. Count now 3-1. 2 outs away. And that one's going to send Burrows to first. A bit high for ball 4.
Number 5, Ethan Belk.
Just to get at bat there from Burrows. That's why he's one of the more hyped up bats in the league right now, just because of what he's able to do. Even though it's not a base hit, and he's able to work the count, make Duff throw him some borderline pitches because of what he's done already in the game, and he'll take that free base every time.
It's going to bring up the Wofford Terrier, Ethan Belk, who lines that one over to Haluderman. He gets it to Soroy for the final out of this inning. Again, the Sox defend a scoreless inning, and it'll be up to their batters to try and cut into this lead.
The Cavaliers in the top of the 7th, no runs on 1.
a new man on the bump for the Culpeper Cavaliers. It's number 41, a left-handed pitcher, Owen Weinbarger.
Yeah, and Weinbarger has had his fair share of success this summer for Culpeper. He's going to try and continue to keep Culpeper in the lead here over the summer. A 2-0 record in 4 games, a 1.68 ERA. He's been one of the better relievers on this Cavaliers team, Landon.
Yeah, it's a pretty low number. You don't see a whole lot of that in the Valley Baseball League, and it's sparse, but when you have a pitcher like that on your roster, this is a perfect time to put him in. Not a close game, but a game that's in reach for the Tom Sox to get back into, and you got a guy with a 1.68 ERA. Put him in for a reason. The first pitch to Luderman, right down the middle for strike 1.
This is probably somebody that Culpeper figures might be able to give you the rest of this game and get a 3-inning save to seal this game 1 of the doubleheader for the Cavaliers and save them another arm for game 2 coming up later.
His second pitch is outside for ball 1. As we dip into the latter half of this game, Luderman lines that one over to Crittenberger, who makes the throw over to first in time. A good play there by Motley. Almost fell over trying to tag him out, but nonetheless, an out goes towards the Sox for number 1. Up steps Patrick Nias, a man who has had a pretty good couple of days. A single today, a home run yesterday, and a few RBIs to go along with that. And he'll look to get the Sox rolling here as Tomlin and Mike Mackey have a little bit of a conversation. Maybe about the tag out at first. Who knows? 1 out away here in the bottom of the 7th. Patrick Nias trying to jumpstart something for the Sox. Weinbarger will deal. That one's down and away for ball 1. He'll deal the 1-0. And Nias watches that one sail high and away for ball 2. Patient batting here from the Gardner-Webb Bulldog. Trying to keep the Sox alive. He takes a big hack at that one. Nowhere near hitting it. Count moves to 2-1.
And that's just got to be the strategy moving forward. Be patient, but also have a sense of urgency. There's definitely a balance there. And for Nias, still in a hitter's count here, something in his wheelhouse. You don't want to let it go by. That pitch called a strike, not really Nias' pitch, though. That's a backdoor breaking ball that probably would have resulted in a grounder had he gone after it, or a foul ball. But now with 2 strikes, definitely have to switch up the approach a little bit and widen up that swing decision.
The 2-2, Nias takes a crack at it, but it's going to sail foul over to the batting cage. No hard, no foul. Count stays at 2 apiece. 1 out away here in the bottom of the 7th. A 2-2 count towards Patrick Nias. The pitch, the swing is foul. Nias will stay alive.
Fans, bats and balls leaving the playing field may be dangerous. Please keep careful of your surroundings.
A long at bat will begin to swing in the favor of the batter. They know what the pitch is going to be. They're just waiting to see if they can get it. The 2-2. Nias takes another crack at it, and guess what, folks? It's foul again.
And a reminder, fans,
We've seen a couple of those in this game, Landon, where it's just been foul ball after foul ball. I think it was Ludero in his last plate appearance, and he just kept fighting off pitch after pitch. And now Nias doing the same.
So the count stays at 2-2. Weinbarger deals, and Nias chops that one over into shallow right field and gets himself on base after a long at-bat. It'll pay off for him. Something that the Tom Sox really needed to avoid a 2-out hole. Still 1 away here in the bottom of the 7th, and up steps Kyle Langley, who doubled in his last at-bat, a one that nearly reached the outer territories of CHO Airport Field. The first pitch to Langley, right over Weinbarger's head, and Nias will take his place at second. Langley getting on first 2 hits in a row for the JMU Duke.
And for both Nias and Langley, that puts them in the multi-hit game category. Nias now ties the Tom Sox high with his 6th, tying Gamster and James Nunnally. Langley moves up a spot, and now he's tied with Andrew Manley and Jackson Soroy with 5 multi-hit games. So 2 of these guys in the middle of the order really helping the Sox try and get a resurgence at the plate late in this one.
Weinberger will now deal to French, who is also searching for a multi-hit game. He checks his swing on that one. Ball sails into the dirt for ball 1. French's last at bat was a sac fly RBI way back in the bottom of the 5th. He has a chance to do that again, but he'd like to stay on base this time. The 1-0. He cracks that one foul way up in the air and over into the parking lot.
That foul ball was brought to you by First Heritage Mortgage.
Count will even at 1 apiece with the big bat of Anderson French still in the lefty's batter box. Weinberger will deal the 1-1. He checks on Patrick Nias over at second. He deals. French just stares at that one, and that one sails right into the middle of the zone for strike 2. French in a go big or go home situation now. The 1-2 to Anderson. Did he go? Yes, he did. Tried to hold himself off, but not in time, and strikeout there from Anderson French. And now the Sox will have the extra base demon up to bat with Tanner Shadle gracing the batter's box yet again. It'll be a prime time for him to send another one deep with 2 runners on base and Patrick Nias at second, Langley at first. Shadle takes a swing at the first pitch and misses everything. 0-1. Just can't leave runners stranded. The Sox have left at least 1 stranded in each of the 6 innings so far today. The 0-1 to Tanner. He cracks that one over to Crittenberger, who makes the play at second, ending the inning and keeping the lead 9-5 for Culpeper here in Game 1 of this doubleheader at CHO Airport Field. Well, YMCA graces the speakers, sort of raising the morale here at CHO Airport Field. I'm Landon Weaver alongside Nathan Schwartz as we head into the top of the 8th here Sox still trail 9-5 to Culpeper in game 1 of this doubleheader. Beginning to get to crunch time and where you make the decision if this lead is insurmountable or mountable. And it seems like it is able to be overcome by the Sox, but they really need something on the offensive side. The first pitch by Duff over to Alejandro Ludero is a ball.
I'll tell you what, Landon, no matter what happens with the Tom Sox bats, you have to give credit to Lane Duff for what he's been able to do over the last few innings. Gave up that single to begin his outing in the 5th, but then he retired 4 in a row, picked off Donovan Mitchell after he gave up the leadoff single in the 7th, got the ground ball to end the 7th inning, and he's given the Tom Sox a little bit more freedom when it comes to the arms they're going to use in Game 2 and in tomorrow's doubleheader as well.
Count now 2-0. Duff dealing to Ludero. That one unable to locate the zone, just a bit high and wide for ball 3. Duff in quite a hole early. But yeah, you said it, Nate. I mean, the first 3 pitches that the Tom Sox had, they weren't bad, but they didn't get the job done. And ever since Lane Duff's come in, he's really been a tale of consistency as he walks Ludero, one of the few blemishes on his resume so far today. But he's been able to give the Sox a chance as they've now left, I believe it's 9 runners on base in total today.
Number 55, Keone Painter.
You never know, though. They may capitalize in the last 2 chances that they have. They've gone scoreless the last 2 innings. So have the Cavaliers. After putting up 4 in the top of the 5th, everybody's gone cold. Now facing Keone Painter. First pitch to him is right inside for strike 1. Painter, the senior from Brigham Young University, faces an 0-1 pitch from Lane Duff. That one just a bit inside for ball 1, evening the count at 1 apiece. Lane Duff, one of the many James Madison Dukes on this squad. Some have come and gone, but him and Langley have stuck around. His 1-1 pitch to Painter cannot find the zone. Count moves to 2-1. Duff deals. Painter again watches it, sees that it finds the zone for strike 2. Evening again, this time at 2 apiece.
Just continue to fill up the zone here if you're Duff. Painter's put the ball in play, but it's been weak contact tonight.
The 2-2. Painter checks his swing as that ball sails below the zone for a full count, 3-2. No outs here in the top of the 8th. 1 runner on, and Alejandro Ludero at first. The payoff pitch. Ludero will go to second. He's tagged there, the double play. Not in time. Painter able to get himself on first. So no harm, no foul, except for the out. That's put on for the Tom Sox as Luderman tossed it to Soroy at second. The throw over to Shadle wasn't in time, and Painter will take Ludero's spot there.
Ground ball is always going to be a pitcher's best friend. That's the exact same thing as what got Duff out of the 7th, gets him the first out here in the 8th.
Up to the batter's box steps Kelly Crittenberger, who takes a hack at that one, popping it up in the air. Going to get it is Luderman and Hargett. Hargett will make the grab, throwing back to first. A little bit of a risky play, but nonetheless, 2 away here in the top of the 8th, and the Tom Sox again doing what they need to do on defense.
Just getting weak contact. We've been talking about it with Duff. That's what he's been able to do. That's his model of consistency in this one. It's been a recipe for success, and he just has to keep it going here for the final out of the 8th.
He'll have to get through Maxwell Melessa. Flew out to center in his last at bat. The first pitch to him is inside for ball 1. Melessa has hit twice, or been hit by a pitch twice, struck out, and then flew out. So 0 for 2 on the day. The 1-0 to him. He takes a chunk at that one, but misses everything. 1-1. Duff trying to finish out the side. The 1-1 to Melissa. He pops that one way in the air, out into center field. Langley coming to get it, and the safe glove of Kyle Langley sends the Sox back on offense as we head into the bottom of the 8th. Again, score remains the same, 9-5 in favor of Culpeper. The fourth pitcher for Culpeper will take the mound to start the bottom of the 8th inning. It is Mason Sawyers, a man out of, well, now the one note that we use is experiencing technical difficulties. Nate, do you got it?
Yeah, Hood College, same school as Rio from the middle innings out in Frederick, Maryland. So Sawyers into the game here for the 8th inning for Culpeper. Still a 4-run game, but within striking distance of the Sox.
So Genowine will take the batter's box to start off this bottom of the 8th. The first pitch to him was a ball. Sawyer's second pitch follows suit. 2-0 the count early here. It really is beginning to be crunch time for the Sox. Genowine has had a really strong day so far. 2 for 3 on the day. That one finds the zone somehow. And the count will move to 2-1. Lane Duff has now pitched 3 scoreless innings in a row. The Sox have been unable to capitalize on that. Their last 2 innings have been scoreless, looking to do some damage here. The 2-1. Genowine crushes that one down the first base line, but it's going to just land foul. Count will even up at 2 apiece.
Genowine, man, he's really impressed me so far, Landon. Everything that he's hitting hard. He has gone to pull side a lot so far, but that just comes with the territory. He's putting together good at-bats every time he steps up to the batter's box. So who better to have up to lead off the 8th?
The 2-2 to Genowine is way outside. Full count coming. But yeah, something about all these new addition lefties that the Sox have gotten, Williams, Genowine, and French, all having early success in their careers in Charlottesville. The 3-2. Genowine checks his swing. The pitch is inside for ball 4, and Genowine walks his way to first. Another great at-bat from the man of the University of the South. And with no outs on for the Sox, Perry Hargett steps up to the plate. not the day that he would want so far. He's 0 for 4. 0 for 3, my apologies. Looking to record his first hit of the day. First pitch is low and away for ball 1.
And for Hargett, the big thing here, just continue to put the ball in play. Don't want to go down on strikes here.
The 1-0. That one, a wild pitch, goes to the backstop. And Genuine will take his stand at second base. So Perry getting ahead in this count, 2-0 here. And now a runner in scoring position in Will Genuine over at second base. The 2-0. Perry crushes that one over to shortstop, and the catch is not made. Genuine will race to third. Runners are going to be on the corners for the Sox. Robinson Martin almost trying to protect himself. He just did not handle that ball very well. It's going to be a single before Perry Hargett finally gets his bat on the ball. And now runners on the corners for the Sox, bringing up Jackson Soroy, a man that has been in flames lately.
And for Perry, like I said, just put the ball in place, see what happens. It goes right to the shortstop, but he hits the ball hard enough to where it's a really tough play for Martin.
The first pitch to Soroy. He watches that one go into the strike zone, but not before. Not before Perry Hargett gets himself on second base. So, 2 runners in scoring position now for Soroy. No outs here in the bottom of the 8th. And the count will be 1 ball and no strikes. The pitch to Soroy. That one low and away for ball 2. Sox really working some good at-bats here.
Yeah, that was just pure easy. Catcher, you worse than you know his name. Voldemort.
Soroy ahead in this count.
Bro.
2 balls, no strikes.
He faked the baseball. I meant Voldemort.
Sawyers will deal. That one into the dirt. A really good catch and play there from Ludero to make sure that ball didn't go to the backstop, and that would have certainly sent Genuine home. Nonetheless, he stays at third. Hargett stays at second. Soroy in a big hitter's count, 3-0.
That's one of those underrated plays right there for Ludero. That had wild pitch run scoring written all over it.
The 2-1. Soroy cracks that one foul, evening the count at 2 apiece.
Remember, fans, turn in any foul balls that you retrieve to the concession stand for a great present.
So the score remains Culpeper 9, Charlottesville 5, as we are now into the bottom 8th of play here in game 1 of this doubleheader. The 2-2. Soroy, a little chopper. Genuine coming home, and he's going to be tagged, but runners are going to move to the corners. Only 1 out away here, and a play that Genuine had to make. But a good heads-up play there from Crittenberger to get it over to Ludero, and Ludero put his glove on Genuine's chest as to say, no, no, no.
And that's the second time in the game on a ground ball at third base where the Tom Sox runner decides to go home. That's just not the fundamental base running that the Tom Sox need. That's 2 runs that could potentially have driven in later, get taken off the base paths.
That brings up Brock Clayton, who takes a hack at that first pitch and misses it all. 0-1.
You go back to French in that second inning on the fielder's choice by Hargett, and then right there, best thing for Genuine would have just been to stay put and let that throw go to first base.
It allows Jackson Soroy to be on first. Hargett now over on third. The throw over to Soroy is not in time, and he stays safe. Yeah, even though an out's on the Sox now, it's the same situation for Clayton that Soroy stepped into. There's just runners on the corners and a really pivotal time to put some runs on the scoreboard. Clayton bloops that one over into foul territory, and Crittenberger nearly was able to make a play on it before it went into out-of-bounds territory. Count will move to 0-2, and Clayton's got some work to do now. Filling in for the shaking up Elijah Williams. Brock Clayton out of Gulf Breeze, Florida, and an 0-2 count with 1 away here in the bottom of the 8th. The throw over to Soroy, and he got him. A good heads-up play there from Sawyers over to Motley. And Soroy will return to the dugout. Now just one runner on base. And Perry Hargett at third. Two away here in the bottom of the 8th. The 0-2 to Clayton. That one in the dirt. Hargett ready to run if necessary. But a good stop again by Ludero. Count will move to 1-2.
That's just another one of those situations where Tom Sox don't want to have the base running boil down a game, but that's 3 base runners that are taken off. 2 in this inning alone.
The 1-2 to Clayton. The ball scurried out from Ludero's glove into shallow infield, but nonetheless, everybody stays where they are. And the count will even up at 2 apiece. Hargett still waiting on third, waiting to come home and to cut the lead to 3. Brock Clayton trying to do some damage here as he's battled back from an 0-2 count to make it 2-2. Sawyer's pitch. Clayton swings, misses, and ends the 8th inning. Sox lead. Culpeper leads 9-5.
No errors.
Lane Duff will stay on the mound for the Tom Sox as we enter the final inning of this game, which the Tom Sox and both the Cavaliers have gone scoreless in the last 3 innings. Not a whole lot going for either side. Been a pretty defensive battle since the Cavaliers put up 4 in the top of the 5th to extend this game to a 9-4 lead before the Sox got one back in the bottom, and nothing since then. The work is certainly cut out for Charlottesville as Duff will deal his first pitch to Colby Motley. Struck out last time. Will he better Duff this time? The first pitch just a bit outside for ball 1.
This has been right on cue for Duff to match what he did about 10 days ago against Purcellville. Same amount of innings pitched, 3 1/3. Not so much the strikeout stuff today, but innings-wise and limiting base runners and limiting the hits has been 1A and 1B for him in these last 2 appearances, and he just needs one more out to reach a new season high.
That last pitch located the zone for strike 1. 1-1 the count. The next pitch is swung on and missed by Motley. Duff moves ahead 1-2. Looking for that new season high in innings pitched. Will it be here? The 1-2 from Duff. Just a bit low for ball 2, evening the count at 2 apiece. Trying to give the Sox yet another chance on offense to come back in this game. It seems like we've said that for the majority of this back half of the game. 2-2, Duff deals it inside for ball 3. count running full against Motley. Both teams have had problems leaving runners on base so far today. Culpeper's done it in 7 of their 8 innings of play, and the Tom Sox have done it in every single one. The 3-2. A chopper foul by Motley. Staying alive here with no outs in the top of the 9th. Culpeper trying to end the Sox 4-game win streak that they rode in here on after a huge win against Harrisonburg last night. They'll have another chance to get back against Culpeper if this game stays the same. And just about 30 minutes after the conclusion of game 1, Motley fouls that one back. Staying alive, staying alive, staying alive.
Now, I'll be interested to see if the reverse happens of what happened when the last time these two teams played in a doubleheader. In that one, it was Charlottesville winning by 3, lifted by Shadle's pinch hit home run late in that game, and then Culpeper hit Charlottesville in the 7-inning contest later in the day.
The 3-2 from Duff. Again, Motley fouls that one back, and again, the count remains 3-2. Yet another long at bat that Lane Duff has faced. Trying to get that pivotal first out on the board. He will deal the payoff pitch. Number 3. Motley skies that one over to Soroy, who makes a nice grab. Out number 1 for the Tom Sox. That will bring up Donovan Mitchell,
Number 15,
who was
Donovan
put out
Mitchell.
at first base after singling last time out in the top of the 7th. And what seemed like a real turning point for the Sox. A good inning was pitched by Lane Duff, but the offense couldn't follow up in the bottom of the 7th. The first pitch to Mitchell. He skies that one foul. Count moves to
That
0-1.
foul ball was brought to you by Taylor's Auto Body.
Duff will deal with 1 strike, the 0-1. And Mitchell crushes that one into right field, coming over his Hargate, and he makes a simple grab. Out number 2.
That's 5 in a row retired by Duff after the leadoff walk to Ladero in the 8th. Going back to the 7th, he only gave up the walk and the single, had the 1-2-3 in the 6th. He's been so efficient so far. He's through 4 full innings of work. One of the better relief appearances we've seen by any Tom Sox pitcher this summer. Like I mentioned already, a new season high for Duff in innings. And he's looking to get 1 more out to send it to the bottom of the 9th.
He has to face Robinson Martin first, who grounds that one over to Luderman. A diving grab is not made, and that'll sail over to Langley before Martin gets himself on first base.
Number 2, Keaton Burrows.
And now Keaton Burrows comes up to bat with a runner on first. We know what he's capable of with runners on and with runners off. Was walked in his last at-bat with no runners on base, but his previous few at-bats were all with bases loaded. Duff will try and retire him to retire the side. The first pitch into the dirt for ball 1. French checks on Martin at first. Deems that there's no threat and throws the ball back over to Duff.
Tom Sox can't afford to give up any more here in this top of the 9th inning, especially with the way the offense has been in a stalemate ever since the 5th.
The throw over to first, not in time, but over to second. Soroy grabs it off of the bag, and Martin will get himself on second base. Good heads-up play by Robinson.
Second stolen base of the day for him. He was a part of a double steal earlier in the ball game back in the 5th. Now adds another to his total.
Now Keaton Burrows, a 1-0 count and a runner in scoring position. Duff will deal. Checks on Martin, who has a lengthy lead at second. The pitch is above the zone for ball 2. Lane will deal the 2-0. Trying to see the Sox out with another scoreless inning. He deals. Robinson goes. The throw to third. In time, and that ends the inning. And will send the Sox back on offense for one last try to stay in this game.
Hit, no errors, and 1 runner left. Number 19, Hudson Luderman.
Hudson Luderman will get the Sox going here in the bottom of the 9th, needing 4 runs to at least keep this game going, 5 to win it. It's a daunting task, but we've seen the Sox get close a couple times. Luderman shows bunt. The pitch goes outside and past Ludero for ball 1. Think about it. Last time the Sox were in this position where they needed a 9th inning rally, Luderman was the last at bat, and he almost was able to get the Sox to go, but struck out. The 1-0 to Luderman. Just a bit low and outside for ball 2.
I'm sure he prefers being in this scenario where you can set the tone for the inning rather than be the one that decides the game.
Pressure definitely subsides for Luderman. The 2-0. Luderman crushes that one into center field, but the catch is made by Donovan Mitchell. 1 out away here.
Now batting, number 10.
And we are just an out closer to
Nias.
the 30-minute break before game 2 of this doubleheader. And up steps Patrick Nias. Will he be the one to get the Sox going here? We said that about just about every batter since the Sox found themselves down 9-4. 9-5 your score here. Culpeper leads 1 away here in the bottom of the 9th. Nias watches that one sail outside for ball 1. As the train passes by CHO Airport Field, maybe that'll spark some life into the Sox. The 1-0 to Nias. Ball is high and will be the second ball of this at bat. 2-0 now the count. It would be really helpful if the Sox were able to work a walk, something that we haven't seen in a while. The last walk for the Sox came in the bottom of the 4th. Oh, my apologies. The last walk came last inning, but before that, they hadn't faced a walk since the bottom of the 4th. So
Still a big gap.
Yeah, they've been few and far away. Nias close to 1 here. The count is 3-0. With 1 away here in the bottom of the 9th. Sawyers deals into the dirt. Ball 4, and well, the last walk was just a second ago
Number
now.
14.
Keeps resetting. We hit the
Kyle
update button.
Langley.
Kyle Langley steps up to the plate with Patrick Nias on first. Looking to do some damage. He's gotten a hit in his last 2 at-bats, a double in the bottom of the 5th, a single in the bottom of the 7th. What will he do in the bottom of the 9th? Sawyers will deal. Langley watches that one sail below the zone for ball 1. This game now at 3 hours and 15 minutes. Seemed like it was going to be a high-scoring affair. Langley crushes that one up in the air. Settling under it is Painter. And he'll make an easy grab as Nias retires back to first. And Langley will head to the dugout, bringing up Anderson French.
Number
2
40,
away here in the bottom of the ninth.
Anderson
The last
French.
resort is the sophomore Hokie to keep the Sox alive.
2 good at-bats to begin his day. Had the sac fly as well in the 5th. Struck out his last time up. Like we said a bunch today, just got to see what happens. There have been crazier things.
The first pitch to French, right down the middle for strike 1. French, if you're French, you got to go for broke. Nothing to lose here. The 0-1. He takes a hack at it, fouls it off. Strike 2. The Sox are down to their final strike in game 1 of this doubleheader. French sets himself up in the batter's box. Sawyers gets himself ready on the bump. He will deal the 0-2. Nias at first base. Sawyers checks on him. The pitch. Swing and a miss. French will retire back to the dugout, and the Culpeper Cavaliers will come away with the win, improving their record to 15-17. The Sox 4-game win streak is over. They're now back at 17-15, but in 30 minutes they'll be back on the field and trying to rectify what went wrong in this game.
Yeah, the winning streaks don't last forever, right? And this was just a classic game of Culpeper getting that early lead and not letting it up. You know, things looked good for Charlottesville in that first inning when they went up 2-0, but then Culpeper immediately came back. When Charlottesville hit that home run in the 4th, Culpeper came back and got 4 of their own, and from that point on, you knew it was going to be a dogfight all the way through, a fight in which Charlottesville never really threw another punch. Culpeper just coasted after that 1 knockout blow in the 5th inning to take game 1, the role reversal of that last doubleheader played about a month ago in Culpeper. Let's see what happens in game 2. Can Charlottesville respond, or will they fall again at home? Tim Lawson's expected to get the start for Charlottesville, to be determined on the Culpeper side, but in about 30 minutes we'll find out.
Well, now that you mentioned the pitching staff for Culpeper, they used up 4 of their guys here in this game, which means that their pitching staff has become thin in what they have in the bullpen going into this second game of the doubleheader. So that'll definitely be something to keep an eye on. In about 30 minutes, a 7-inning clash between the Culpeper Cavaliers and the Charlottesville Tom Sox will take place right again here on CHO Airport Field on the Charlottesville Tom Sox YouTube page. It'll be me and Jeremy Rose on the call.